Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is a story about what if Naruto Truth-Seeking orbs in high school DxD. Before I start, please support for more amazing content, and do consider subscribing to my channel and share this video with your friends. This is written by you.got.real.ugly and link in description and support writer. Let's start the video. Chapter 1, A Dream Lost. You called for me, Kakashi-sensei. Naruto panted as he entered the Hokage's office. He had just his training for the day, so his jacket was tied around his waist and his black muscle shirt clung to his skin. He was still getting used to his new arm, as earlier this week he had finally started to get feeling back in his fingertips. Yes, this is something I need to discuss with you, and I would rather do it now instead of putting it off. Kakashi had not changed much since the war except for that new eye Naruto gave him. He still had a half mask, silvery spiky hair, and his complete look of indifference. That is until he sighed and seemed to gain 10 years to his age. There is no easy way to say that, so I am just going to say it. Naruto, I have discussed it with my advisors and the heads of the clans. While you have done well in your studies, I have decided not to name you as my successor. It took a moment to even register in Naruto's mind. What? It came out of like a gasp. What about my dream? Naruto whispered as his shoulders seemed to sink. What about what Bachan promised? This is going to force me to break my nindo. His voice rang so hollow that Kakashi flinched. It was the same voice he used when the third questioned him about why he was in the hospital when he was younger. It was the sound of being betrayed, weak and broken. Lady Tsunade is no longer Hokage, Naruto. Those of us who were marked to become Hokage start their training for it at a young age. And whose fault is that, sensei? Naruto asked, incensed at the fact that this was somehow being made into his fault. Of course, Bachan could not train me, we were at war. I was too busy winning said war to focus on learning to become Hokage. If Kakashi had heard the outburst, it did not show on his face, which only enraged Naruto further. I was marked by your father and started training for the hat at the age of 10. The third had marked and trained your father and Itachi. I cannot in good faith choose you when you have never been trained for it. And let's face it, you are far more valuable out in the field than you are sitting behind this desk. What are you talking about? It's not like you are stepping down tomorrow. I can continue my training and be ready by the time you give up the hat. We are at peace with the other nations. A peace that I fought, bled and lost an arm for, which is why we need you to stay in the field. You are more valuable as a deterrent. You need to be seen by the other nations. See, this is how it is, Naruto. We are just tools for them to use. I know, Kurama, I still have faith that I can change that. Kakashi, I am the strongest shinobi on the planet. It doesn't matter if I am standing in wave or sitting in that chair. Everyone already knows that. Naruto crossed his arms over his chest, his eyes flickered back and forth from blue to red. Kurama in no doubt agreed with his container. In fact, Naruto would have asked him to stop his roaring if he was not just as pissed off. Kakashi bristled at the thought of Naruto being stronger than him. He was a shinobi, after all, they are competitive by nature. You are forgetting about Sasuke, or did you have to get a new arm for no reason? Kakashi drawled. Fuck Sasuke. I took it easy on him so he wouldn't run off crying about how weak he is. I am not a terminally ill Itachi or Orochimaru on his last legs or some defenseless village he slaughtered. I lost my arm because I planned to take his and I wanted him to think we were equal. He cannot be trusted with Sage Gigi's chakra. I did as I always do, sacrifice myself for this village. That is what Gigi taught me. Apparently, it was a lesson you chose to ignore by taking the easy route. But why should have I expected any different? It is what you have always done. Ignore your problems, ignore your difficult students, just let someone else handle it. Am I dismissed, Hokage-sama? Kakashi's throat felt unexpectedly dry after the talking down to. And no, he rasped as he reached behind his desk to pull out a Chunin vest. See, Chunin Uzumaki, now that you are Chunin, you have come into your inheritance. There isn't much left after the Kyuubi attack. Kakashi set a scroll on the desk next to the vest. We can go through it too. Before the Hokage could finish his statement, Naruto's had slammed down on the scroll. He was determined that no one in this village would see what was inside. He could easily see that Fuinjutsu in the Uzumaki spiral would only let people put things in it, but no one but him could unseal it. The suspicious markings on the outside of the scroll showed that many have tried. If there is anything addressed to you, I will send it to you. And that attack wasn't my brother's fault, he stated as he pocketed the scroll. You forget that Kurama saved all of our lives. Thanks, Naruto. I haven't forgotten, Naruto. I was there on the battlefield with you. You have been cleared for 3 months leave. Enough time to train up your arm and anything in that scroll. I will see you in this office in 3 months. You are dismissed. Yes, Hokage-sama. Naruto grabbed the vest and left the tower. His trip was not lonely for long. His pink-haired teammate stood outside the door waiting for him. Naruto, I am so sorry. She had tears in her eyes. Lady Tsunade tried to tell them they were being stupid, but Kakashi and the elders wouldn't listen. Sakura spoke as she matched his pace walking towards his broke-down apartment. So as always, I am the last to know. That's just like Kakashi. We only found out this morning. Lady Tsunade and I cancelled all our appointments to argue in your favor. She has taken it very hard and she is already in the sake. Naruto sighed as his and Kurama's anger burned off the longer Sakura spoke. Standing before Kakashi made Naruto feel like he did as a child again. The village was all against him, like he had no friends, no loved ones, that it was just him. In that moment before his anger lit, he felt so alone. That was what got Kurama's hackles up and made him ready to tear apart the village. But of course, it was Sakura to make him realize that he at least had some friends and he wasn't alone. It was not much, but it was enough for now. This was not the first time he noticed a change in her demeanor. Ever since she focused on being a medic, it smoothed her edges. While she was still quick to anger, she was no longer quick to punch. She actually listens when people speak and offers help instead of throwing insults. He guessed that it was just what happens when people grow up. Thanks for speaking up for me, Sakura. Naruto slowed to a stop, facing her for the first time. I still have some of Gamabunta sake. If you want to get Bachan, we can go through my parents' things at my place. They have finally made me chunin. You mean they didn't promote you to jonin like they did everyone else during that damn war? Sakura looked near enraged as she spoke. Never mind, I will go get her. We will see you soon. She quickly leaped to the nearest rooftop, growling as she went. Naruto was not in any rush, so it came as no surprise when he saw the two of them waiting for him outside his apartment. Mountain Toad sake is hands down the best sake you can get in the elemental nations. Gaki, what took you so long? I hear you have been holding out on me? Bachan, if you knew I had the good stuff you would never leave me alone, Naruto stated as he opened the door to let them in. So I know what the boozehound wants. What would you like, Sakura-chan? Some tea? No, I will have some sake too, please. Naruto only raised his brow in surprise but said nothing. Lady Tsunade, like a boozehound, had already sniffed out a bottle for herself, and was making her way to the couch. Naruto gathered a bottle and some sake cups for the people who will actually use them. Well, Gaki, at least with the Uzumaki money you can get out of this dump. Don't get me wrong, you keep it clean, but seriously, this building should have been condemned a long time ago. Tsunade said as Naruto took a seat between Tsunade and her student. Hey, I like practically having the building to myself, and it survived an invasion and a war. Tsunade just raised her bottle to that miracle as he poured Sakura a drink. But what do you mean Uzumaki money? The Uzumaki practically owned half of the Fire Country. You should have been given that months ago. Hell, I wanted to give that to you the moment you returned from your trip with the pervert. Kami, rest his soul. Having Kushi-chan's legacy sitting in the Hokage vault was like a damn noose around my neck. But I could never get approval to make you chunin, then shit happened. Well, at least congrats to making Tokubetsu jonin, you've earned it. Chunin. The pink-haired apprentice mumbled as she swirled the sake in her cup. What was that? They fucking made him chunin. Sakura drank her sake. They fucking lied to us and only made him chunin. Seriously, Kami, damn it, I need another bottle. Naruto poured Sakura another cup. He had a feeling his stash was not going to make it through the night. He unsealed the Uzumaki scroll on his coffee table. There were a couple of books that looked like journals, some letters, some prototype Hiraishin kunai, a sheathed Jakudo, and a new-looking folder. Sakura went for the book that looked like a photo album while he went for the folder. It was the Uzumaki clan's up-to-date financials. It only gets worse, Bachan. I won't be leaving this apartment anytime soon. What are you talking about? Tsunade asked, sounding completely sober. He just handed the folder over before downing his cup of sake. Shit, there is no getting this money back either. It was committed to the rebuilding effort. They are also trying to limit how much you are getting from businesses claiming some post-war recession nonsense. I bet those old bastards didn't have to pay a single Rio after they dipped into your finances. Let me hold on to this. Don't you worry, Naruto, I still have friends in high places. The Uzumaki will start making money again. She frowned as Naruto just shrugged in response. She did not blame him. It was hard not to be beaten down after the day he had. It was hard on all three of them that Naruto lost his dream because of greedy, power-hungry politicians. Tsunade took another drink of sake. She had expected more from Kakashi. She knew he was soft in an argument, but she thought he would have some spine and not just fold like a lawn chair when the politicians set in. That is exactly why they do not want Naruto to wear the hat. He would not give them what they wanted no matter how much they bitched. If something was wrong, he would shut it down without discussion. Tsunade was not going to let this fade away. She was going to fight for this young man just as he had fought for them. He saved her from herself, and she was not going to forget that. She did not know it yet, but she was going to be surprised once again by her favorite shinobi in just a few moments. Naruto stared into the bottom of his sake cup until he realized he found an answer. Maybe not the answer, but an answer nonetheless. Lady Tsunade, he said, grabbing Sakura's attention from the photo album as well. Her cheeks were flushed from alcohol, and her eyes were glistening with unshed tears as she looked over to Naruto. She had never heard him address her sensei in such a way. Naruto cleared his throat, and seemed to gain some of his energy back. Lady Tsunade, will you take me on as a student like you have with Sakura? Ever since Kurama and I have become brothers, my chakra control is near perfect. I also can use all elemental natures including lava, magnet, ice, and possibly more. I think as a Senju and a Uzumaki you might be able to help me with the Uzumaki scrolls. It was my grandmother who was an Uzumaki, but consider it done. I would have said yes even without all of the other shit. I may not be able to teach you everything I taught her, but we will figure something out. And let's get you out of this shithole. I expect both you and Sakura to move into the Senju compound tomorrow morning. How long is your leave? 3 months, right? It will be 6 by the end of tomorrow. Now enough of this heavy shit. Do you have any cards in here, Gaki? Let's play a game. Yes, sensei. Sakura jumped from her seat. It was finally some good news. She was getting more training from her sensei, and this time it will be with her teammate and best friend. Let's see how quickly we can get Sakura to lose all her clothes in poker. Tsunade proclaimed. What? Sakura shouted. Her blush was fast approaching atomic levels. I am kidding, Gaki, but Naruto apparently doesn't have any money, so who knows, he may be the one getting naked by the end of the night. Naruto thought Sakura would be the one to protest, but her glossed-over eyes and drool on the corner of her mouth told him otherwise. Naruto just sighed. He was surrounded by perverts. Naruto decided to watch Tsunade's sake intake and maybe call Shizen over. Alright, deal the cards. Let's get drunk and do weird things. Tsunade exclaimed as Naruto quickly sent a clone away to get Shizen. He knew Tsunade was going to regret those words by morning. In DxD, Lord and Lady Phoenix, what a surprise to have you drop by my office. Please take a seat. Would either of you like a glass of scotch? A cough from the silver-haired maid in the corner of the room made him amend his question. I mean, would either of you like some tea? No, thank you, Lord Lucifer. Lord Phoenix stated while his wife attempted to hide her laugh behind her hand. We think we have found him. We think we have found our son. Surzekas looked completely lost. What do you mean? What happened to your son? No, not Rival or Riser, but Rival, our second son. This time it was Lady Phoenix who spoke. Some of our family artifacts detected his energy a few months ago. We have isolated and monitored that energy. It's him, he is alive. Wait, your second son? I thought the old devil faction bound his magic before they threw him into that portal. He was just a toddler. That seal would have practically made him human. Surzekas knew what he said was harsh, but it was highly unlikely that the boy survived. It was a terrible loss that the Phoenix's second son was kidnapped that day, but it was a long time ago. It's him, we know it's him. What if this was your son those damn bastard had stolen from you, and instead of handing him back when they were trapped they used that cursed ritual on him? Would you have given up? Would you have just forgotten about Millicass? Because that is what you are asking us to do. Sweetheart, that is enough, Lord Phoenix said as he squeezed her hand in support. We have come here to ask one of the Mao if we can perform a summoning ritual. No. Surzekas held up his hand to forestall any argument. For one, it's too dangerous. We do not know what will be summoned. There is a reason it is forbidden, or at least heavily monitored. 2. Let's not forget it has been almost 40 years. He could have a family of his own, and we cannot, and will not rip him away from that. Lady Phoenix nodded along as she dropped in her chair until another cough from the maid in the corner caught their attention. The super devil tried to loosen his collar or discreetly wipe the sweat from his brow as an inordinate amount of killing intent crashed into him from the maid in the corner of the room. But we can send him a message and verify that it is him. After that, we will discuss the possibility of a summoning. Surzekas relaxed as the foul intent faded away, with none of the others in the room the wiser. How do we send a message? Lady Phoenix's voice rang with a tinge with hope. Leave that to me. One of my familiars can be very handy in these situations. A small Gremry teleportation array appeared on the desk, bringing a small animal with it. This is my messenger frog. The frog itself did not seem to like that proclamation. If anything, it looked pissed. Well, yes, his attitude leaves much to be desired, but he can get your message to anyone anywhere as long as you have a sample of the energy signature. Lord Phoenix leaped from his seat to shake the Mao's hand. Thank you? I cannot thank you enough, Lord Lucifer. His wife was already notifying their bishop to bring the necessary documentation. It did not take long for the letter to be written and a portfolio put together. After Surzekas put on a translation spell on the documents, he handed it over to the frog, who wrapped it with his tongue and swallowed it whole. After it sniffed the energy sample, the frog disappeared. Okay, now that is settled, I will notify you of any messages I receive from the other side. Just as everyone was going to conclude their meeting, a new frog appeared. A frog that Surzekas did not recognize, and it had not even been 5 minutes since the message was sent. The frog was at least triple the size as his and was almost solid red except for the blue markings around its eyes. It also had a pair of goggles around its neck. Its messenger told you ass. Daisuke said he will stop being your familiar if you call him a frog again. And don't expect him to come around anytime soon. He is under house arrest for running away from home. I will be back around with a scroll for you to sign up to our messaging service, but if you call us frogs one more time, we are done with you. Got it? Surzekas could only nod in response. The now apparent Toad turned around to face Lord and Lady Phoenix. The rest of their peerage had shown up with the bishop along with the oldest son. He was the only one of their children who knew of their lost child. I assume you are the senders. My name is Kosuka, Naruto-sama's personal messenger Toad. The Toad seemed to puff up in pride at the mention of one named Naruto. I would like to inform you that Naruto-sama has received your message and will respond as soon as he can. I know your signatures now and can find you anywhere unless you ward against me. Have a good evening. Then the Toad disappeared in a plume of smoke, leaving the entire group of devils speechless. Chapter 2. Meeting the Family. Senju Compound. Naruto stood in the private Senju training grounds, pulling the chakra chains into his back and palms. He had finally added the 9th chain to his family jutsu. This month and a half of training has gone extraordinarily well not only for him but also for Tsunade and Sakura. Through a judicious use of his clones, he went through all the Uzumaki Jutsu scrolls and Fuin Jutsu manuals. Do you really think I will be able to make them again? I thought Sage Gigi took it away. Well, you told me Kurama said you just needed access to all the Bijuu chakra, right? And you still have the Bijuu chakra? Tsunade asked. Her role as a teacher mainly consisted of her pointing out things for him to try out. She also dragged him to the hospital to force him to train his 6 paths healing abilities. At first, he had to go full 6 paths to heal. Now he can just summon it to his arm. Soon she thinks he will be able to just summon it to his palm. Hopefully one day he will only need a finger. His training was all about getting comfortable and manipulating all his different sources of chakra. All this refinement of his chakra manipulation has even allowed him to stay in his sage mode permanently, which Sakura described as just stupid broken. The exploration of his chakra has led them to find out that if he shares his chakra while in Ninetales mode he can slowly expand people's chakra pools. Tsunade and Sakura have come to extremely enjoy their weekly chakra treatments. It has benefited Sakura the most as her chakra amount has nearly doubled over the month, and she is nearing or has already surpassed Kakashi and Sasuke. Naruto stretched releasing Sage Maid since Lady Tsunade still finds the toad eyes disturbing. Sakura also told him that it's a shame he loses his azure eyes when using it. Yeah, I still have access to all the Bijuu chakra as the bits they left behind have bonded to my chakra network just like Kurama's has. Then you should be able to create those truth-seeking orbs, you just have to figure it out. I don't think the sage took the power away he just made so you couldn't do it naturally. It is like that damn Sharingan, when they copy a jutsu they don't know how the jutsu actually works, it just allows them to do it naturally. All you need to do is train with the Bijuu chakra and I am positive you can figure it out. She is right, Naruto. I have been thinking about that ability. We just need to find the right mixture of chakra. Alright, Kurama, we will train together soon. I am done with the Uzumaki Taijutsu scroll. Do you want to go through it now or should I hand it over to Sakura? There is a lot of strength modifying techniques in it that I think she will enjoy. Yeah, give it to Sakura. I am still going through the Kenjutsu scroll and I am training Kenjutsu with the toads too. Naruto had found he did not mind sharing his scrolls with Sakura or Tsunade. In the time living together, it felt like the closest thing to a family he's ever had. Sakura still went to her parents for dinner a couple times a week, but being genin themselves they spent much of their time on patrol or at an outpost. They encouraged her to learn as much as she could from the fifth, and Naruto. Tsuchan, should I go start dinner? Naruto asked as they entered the main Senju house. The new nickname came about on the night of drinking that is not to be spoken about, though it was only used when training was over and when it was only the two of them. Yeah, Sakura's shift should be over any moment now. What are you making? I am thinking something easy like curry. Sounds good. I will start the rice. I'm home. They heard Sakura shout from the front door as she threw her stuff down in a huff. She must have had a rough day at the hospital, stated Naruto as they waited for her in the sitting room. Welcome back, Sakura-chan. Hey Naruto, you think you could help me out with some chakra later? Naruto smiled, but it did not truly reach his eyes. Sure, Sakura, anytime. Actually not tonight, Tsunade replied with a frown. Naruto, can you go start dinner? I want to speak with my apprentice. I will join you in a moment. Oh, and I want it spicy. Can do. Tsunade waited for him to leave before turning to Sakura. So what's wrong? Nothing, Sakura said defensively. Why do you think something's wrong? 'Cause today is the day for Sasuke's monthly report, and you are not floating on air. The pink-haired medic's shoulders dropped. I just don't understand. I rushed over to see the report, but there was no mention of me or even Naruto. I thought he would at least ask how we were doing. I had just hoped he would include a letter to me. I just thought we were going to be together after we shared that moment when he was leaving the village. Sakura, he just poked you in the head. That's hardly a proclamation of love. In fact, it was something his brother used to do to him. A brother that he later killed. You shouldn't read too much into it. I know it meant something to him, even if it does. Is that the kind of relationship you want? One where he only shows he cares when it's convenient, and all other times you are just tossed aside. That is not the kind of life I want for you. Sasuke-kun isn't like that. He won't be gone forever. Don't fool yourself. I know his type. He is not going to stick around. Personally, I think the little prick should never be allowed to leave his cell, let alone the village. I read his file. I know what he did in that snake bastard's name. The only atonement he should find is located in a locked 5x7 room. I am tired of watching you pine after him, Sakura. He is a murderous criminal who is now doing Kami knows what out there. And where does Naruto fit into this? Are you going to keep abusing his kindness whenever you get tossed aside? I don't abuse his kindness. The question is, when haven't you? We both know how it feels to receive some of his chakra. It's better than sake. What were you going to do? Enjoy the feeling while imagining that it was Sasuke doing it instead of Naruto? Sakura did not respond, only looked away in shame. Sakura, it will never be Sasuke. He won't go out his way to help anyone but himself, and his chakra is vile. You don't want that shit touching you. Tsunade really wished she had this conversation with Sakura before it escalated this far, but she just never had the chance. She just did not understand her apprentice. The girl was obviously attracted to Naruto. It was hard to miss when Sakura sprouted a nosebleed when he had to lose his shirt and pants during that card game a month ago. Naruto told me to give you his family's taijutsu scroll. You do know what that means, don't you, Sakura? It just shows how much he cares for you. You are family to him, Sakura, and it's just so sad. He wants a family so bad that he lets those he loves walk all over him. So I am going to hold on to it for a bit longer. I want you to focus on meditation over the next few weeks. You need to figure out your priorities. I know you may not agree with me, but if you ever think I have gone too far, you are free to leave. Now I told Naruto I was going to help him with dinner, so I better get in there. Meanwhile, Naruto was chopping vegetables until he heard a toad croak. Hello, little guy. I have never met you before. Are you a messenger toad? Just as the toad opened his mouth, Naruto's personal messenger toad, Kosuke, appeared in a plume of smoke. Kosuke dove tackling the other toad to the ground. Kosuke had pulled a knife from somewhere, and it was pointed at the unnamed toad's throat. How dare you try to deliver to Naruto-sama? I should Daisuke? Is that really you? Oh, you are in big trouble. I will let the boss handle you. Naruto just shrugged as both toads disappeared in smoke. It was only moments later when Kosuke appeared again. Naruto-sama, I have a delivery for you. How many times do I have to tell you about dropping that sama crap? You can leave the delivery on the counter. Anyway, what was that all about? That was Daisuke, my runaway little brother. Well, don't be too hard on him, he is still family. And inform the sender that I will respond as soon as I can. Of course, Naruto-sama, Kosuke said before disappearing once again. What was that, Naruto? I got a message from a toad that had run off, and Kosuke didn't like that. Some family drama or something. Do you want me to look through it? It looks important. Tsunade asked as she started the rice cooker. Now we can look at it after dinner. It seems like you just got out of some heavy conversation, so just relax for a bit. How'd you know? I know what today is, and I could feel the negative emotions all the way over here from the sitting room. I forget that you are a negative emotion sensor. You never mention it out of combat situations. I have gotten good at ignoring it at home or with friends because since I have bonded with Kurama, I am a full empath, not just negative emotions. Smart. You wouldn't want to invade people's privacy, but make sure you train it like any other ability. So have you come up with any other goals like I asked? Not really, it's just hard, you know. I know you don't like thinking about it, but you need some direction, Naruto. Training is all well and good for a distraction, but you need a purpose. I want you to join Sakura in meditation for the next few days. You are still young, I don't want you to drift through life like I did before you found me. I know. Ma and Pa are telling me the same thing. The dinner was a quiet affair that night as everyone had things on their mind. Naruto drew their attention as he opened the letter that he had received. These people are claiming to be my parents. No, wait. I think they are talking about my dad, Naruto said in confusion. Seriously? I know the fourth was an orphan too, but they could just be trying to use you for your fame. Sakura said as she came around the table to look at the letter. I thought so too at first, but look here, it says they are not from this world. That they were attacked 40 years ago and their son was kidnapped. If it's true, then your father's name was Rival Phoenix. What kind of name was that? I wasn't sure at first, Gaki, but look at these pictures. The blonde hair is spot on, and this man who looks like another son of theirs could be Minato's twin. Tsunade handed the pictures over to Naruto. They sent a bunch of medical documents over in the portfolio too. I will take them into the hospital to compare them to yours and Minato's records. Sensei, won't you get in trouble? Sakura, Tsunade deadpanned. You really think someone will question me in my hospital? Good point. They want some of Naruto's medical records to verify he is related to them too. I will see what I can do, but any records of Minato's or Naruto's will be severely redacted. So why are they contacting us now, and what for? They picked up my energy signature a few months ago. Probably during the war. They mentioned that if I am their son, they want to attempt summoning me home. I don't know how they will feel when I tell them that their son is dead and I am possibly their grandson. But Naruto, it sounds like it is a one-way trip. Would you really leave us? Sakura almost felt like her world was crumbling. Sasuke was one thing, he was always gone, but Naruto, he was always by her side. She knew she could count on him for anything. Let's not worry about that. How far off are you from having the Hiraishin complete? As far as I know, there are no limitations to it, so maybe once it's done you can discuss it with the toads since they can go between here and wherever these people are. Naruto sighed with relief as Tsunade cut through the tension. Sakura's negative emotions had slammed into him with the force of a Madara meteor. It shouldn't take much longer, I will put more focus on it instead of my elemental manipulation. Do you want some help? That would be great, Sakura-chan. With your help, we will get it done in no time. And he meant it. Sakura has always been book smart, so it should be as no surprise that she took to Fuinjutsu like noodles to ramen. She may not be an Uzumaki, but the breadth of seals she knew was incredible. That encyclopedic knowledge of seals of hers has already proven useful to Naruto when he created new or improved seals. Also, the blinding smile she gave him did not hurt either. Once we know if you related, you can respond. You and Sakura should use tonight to decide on what you want to say. Underworld Phoenix Manor Study. Lord and Lady Phoenix both opened the letter and portfolio in anticipation. The toad, Kosuke, had appeared with the letter and folder that evening while they were in their study. Luckily for them, Ravel had already gone to bed for the night. They still kept this from their two youngest children. They wanted to be certain it was their son. Lady Phoenix was looking through the pictures they had received. He looks just like Rival, she said with tears in her eyes. And his wife is so beautiful. What lovely red hair. She flipped to the next picture. Sweetie, we have a grandson, she shouted in pure joy, but she quickly reined it in as she saw her husband heavily sit down on his favorite armchair. What's the matter, Cat? He's dead. Rival's dead. He and his wife died 17 years ago. What? She noticed that there were no pictures with her grandson and parents together. Our grandchild is an orphan? Does it say who raised him? No, it sounds like he had always been on his own. Our son and his wife were murdered the day Naruto was born. Is it even worth summoning him? He is half human and his devil blood could be too diluted to even be a phoenix. Don't you dare say that. Lady Phoenix grit her teeth as she spoke in a calm and controlled manner. Her appearance was anything but calm and controlled. Fiery wings had emerged from her back and her blonde ringlets were spirals of fire framing her face. Regardless of his human heritage, he is still a phoenix. This attitude is why we fought against those devils that stole our son. If you speak of this again you will live to regret it. Why, you're right, my dear. I wasn't thinking straight. It's just a shock. I had thought we found him. Katarina Phoenix ran her hand through her husband's hair. I know while we have lost a son we have been given a gift of a grandson. I am sure he will prove just as powerful as anyone in our clan. Just imagine we will have another teenager in the house. Ravel will have another older brother even if she is an auntie. But if we awaken his devil blood he will be considered the youngest son of the Phoenix family. Riser will be far from pleased. You know how he is. We will cross that bridge when we get to it, replied Katarina as she sat in her husband's lap. All this talk of having children in the house has put something else in my mind. She slowly drew him into a kiss. Do you think you could help me? I am sure we can figure something out, my love. Senju Compound Private Training Grounds. You have your kunais, right? Yes, Sakura, I have them right here. Naruto pulled the scroll from inside the sleeve. You and Sakura are 100% sure this will work? Naruto sighed and turned to Tsunade. Yes, we are positive the changes to the formula will allow multidimensional travel, and the toads agreed. You would know this if you would go through our notes and set up your own Hiraishin. That's too much work. I will get around to it eventually. I was never big on Fuinjutsu like you two are. Sakura can do it, so that's good enough for now. Tsunade took a swig of sake. She was not drinking to get drunk. In fact, since she took Naruto as a student she slowed down significantly. She was drinking to calm her nerves. Despite his reassurances, she was terrified that Hiraishin would not work. Sakura was in a similar position. The tightness around her eyes and the wringing of her hands told them that. There was also all the small touches on Naruto's arms or shoulders. Hell, Tsunade even saw her brush Naruto's fallen hair behind his ear. It's almost time and I still don't know why I have to wear this. Naruto messed with his green formal kimono. Tsunade had said it was his father's and would best to present himself in his nicest clothing, because you look very handsome in it. Don't forget your lessons and make sure you suppress your chakra completely. We don't want them to feel threatened. You just don't want them to know how dangerous I am. He dropped a tri-pronged kunai in the middle of the Senju training ground. Guilty as charged, Tsunade said as she pulled him into a hug. After all, we are ninja. Sakura pulled him into a hug next. The village will know something is up if you are gone longer than 2 days. So make sure you come back to me before that. It was a slip of the tongue, but Sakura was beyond caring as she kissed his cheek. Sakura took a step back just in time for the ground lit up red with the symbol of the Phoenix clan. She had wanted to follow him with her own Hiraishin, but Lord Lady Phoenix had only requested Naruto. But if he was not back in 2 days she was going to him, and there would be hell to pay. Naruto felt the pull of the summoning but was suddenly drawn into his mind. His mindscape was no longer a sewer, but it was still as dark and dreary since Kurama preferred a cave to sleep in. I cannot let you go, Naruto. Sage Gigi? Naruto could not move, he had been completely immobilized. The sage stood before him in his mindscape as he had during the war, same horns, goatee and all. Father, what are you doing? Naruto has finally found some of his family. Why would you deny him this? Kurama questioned as he moved to stand behind Naruto. He cannot go, he is too important to this planet, it won't survive without his presence. Make that damn Uchiha do it. You insisted on giving that shitty bastard power. You were there with me when the prophecy was declared. It called for a child of prophecy, not children. These are duties that solely fall to Naruto. It's the child of prophecy when it is convenient to you. Need I remind you that you are the one that split the power because you were afraid of your sons becoming too powerful? If Naruto had access to all the power he was born with, things might have been easier. Be that as it may, I am not going to ever unseal that power. I will not allow you to leave, Naruto. Hagoromo extended his staff to touch Naruto's forehead, but before it could, a black metal plate blocked the Shikujo. How? You should not have the truth-seeking orbs any longer. We figured it out, said Kurama, sounding like his old smug self. Calm down, Sage Gigi. We learned how to make them on our own. And don't get so worried, it's not like I will be gone forever. I have a way to travel back. Explain. Hagoromo spoke sharply as his eyes narrowed. Naruto shaped the truth-seeking orb into a tri-pronged kunai. I have recreated the Hiraishin. The toad said it will work to move between worlds. The sage of six paths hummed for a moment. Then good luck, my young ancestor. After the old man faded away, Naruto spoke. That was interesting. Yes, in more ways than one. What do you mean, Kurama? Well, it seems the prophecy is not done with you and this world. Also, he said he would not unseal whatever power he is keeping from you. Not that he had removed it. I had thought there is something else sealed inside you, but now I have proof. That just means we need to train more if something else is coming. Yes, when we return we will speak with our siblings. But it looks like the summoning is almost complete. Let's meet your other family. Naruto opened his eyes. The room was obscured in smoke from the summoning. He could feel two really strong presences, and two really strong presences in front of him. The room itself had stone floors and walls. There was no furniture, only the torches that lined the walls. It reminded him of the basement of the T&I department. The place where they do the delousing for the shinobi or kunoichi who committed certain acts with their clients when they were supposed to keep it in their pants. After the delousing, they were sent to the hospital for some very invasive procedures. So while acting that way with clients is not forbidden, it is heavily frowned upon. But Naruto was getting sidetracked in memories of spraying the perverts down, so he focused on the here and now. He could feel that everyone was nervous but hopeful, with no negative or aggressive emotions at all. This was going to be awkward, so Naruto decided to fall back to his old standby. Act stupid and prank someone. As the smoke cleared, Naruto adopted the most aloof pose possible. Yo, he said nonchalantly with a lazy wave. Surzekas could not hold back and let out a full-bellied laugh. The summoning had been extremely stressful. If it had not been for his wife forcing him to do it, he would not have. But the mere thought of their son being kidnapped sent her into mama bear mode, and quite frankly Milikas was annoyed by her constant hugging. Though Surzekas suspected the boy secretly loved the extra attention. So seeing this young man so relaxed despite his formal green kimono was a relief. But he had to feel sorry for Lord and Lady Phoenix, as he did not feel a lick of power coming from the boy. Graphia's sharp elbows helped him bring his laughter under control, but it did not last long. Oh, are you sure you are my Aji-san? You look kinda young. The Phoenix elders were in complete shock. They had not even seen him cross the room as he shook Lord Phoenix's hand. At first, they were struck by the sight of this handsome young man, but their illusion was quickly broken. And you must be my new Emoto-chan. You are far more beautiful than what the stuffy Aji-san said. Katarina was caught on her back foot as Naruto drew her into a hug until she saw his devious smirk. Oh, she was going to like this one. Really, Oni-chan? And what did he say about Ka-san? Oh, Emoto-chan, you don't want to know. No, I really do. He said it was time to trade her in for a new foreign model. That's why he summoned me. He wants a, what did he call it? I got it. He wants a hookup with a foreign beauty. No way. Is that true? Honest Emoto, those were his words, not mine. But if she is half as beautiful as you, Emoto-chan, then there is no replacement in existence. Hey, get your hands off my wife. And I never said any of those things. Lord Phoenix shouted as he pointed at Naruto. He was also trying to ignore Surzeka's laughing, and he even spotted the strongest queen hiding her giggles behind her hand. Wife? No way, she is way too young to be with such an old man. Naruto gently pushed Lady Phoenix behind him as if to protect her. He didn't offer you candy, did he? Naruto could feel the life force of all the individuals in the room. They were all far older than they appeared. Probably older than anyone he met outside of the Bija. Alright, grandson, I think we had our fun. And Amadeus, no need to be such a bore. We have 3 uptight children already, let me have this one, she said as she looped her arm through Naruto's. Grandson, I am Katarina Phoenix. The old man over there is Amadeus Phoenix. Naruto scratched the back of his head. Nice to meet you. I am Uzumaki Naruto, or rather it seems to be Naruto Uzumaki here. Surzek finally got his laughter under control. I am Surzek Lucifer, and this is my wife and head maid Graphia Lucifuge. Naruto cast a confused look at the two. A maid? Perverts are everywhere. Naruto, you said your family name is Uzumaki. I thought our son took the name of Minato Namikaze? Amadeus asked as he had recovered from his pouting. Well, it was believed that my dad was a clanless orphan, so I was given my mother's family name since it is a very famous clan. Before we get into it, because I am sure everyone has questions. Let's retreat to somewhere more comfortable. Lady Phoenix cut off the questioning and pulled Naruto up the stairs. I got only one question really. Do you guys have ramen here? The room they ended up in had a lush red carpet, and the walls were covered in rich tapestry. The only place that could compare in Naruto's memory was Koiki's palace. So let me get this straight, you people are devils and we are in a place called hell. And devils live tens of thousands of years and I am half devil. Exactly, but we are the Phoenix clan gifted with immortality by the bird itself. So we live longer than that, and your blood is sealed like your father's was. Okay, Naruto said as he sunk deeper into his chair. It was seriously the softest chair he has ever sat in. You are taking this awfully easy, said Surzek. He liked the boy as he was just so easy to get along with. It reminded him of himself. I have been through some crazy stuff, this ain't so bad. Well, tell us more about yourself. Katarina was eager to learn more about her grandson. He was already shaping up to be her favorite. What do you want to know? Tsunade already briefed him on what he could and could not say, so he felt pretty comfortable about any questions they might ask. Just like any mother worth her salt, Katarina cut to the important things. You said you are 17? How are you doing in school? School? Sorry, I graduated when I was 12, so I don't go to school. Hear that, dear? We have another genius in the house. Katarina beamed with pride. My dad was considered a genius. No one ever called me one. I think I take after my mom in that aspect, but I think I need to clear something up. We all graduate Shinobi Academy at the age of 12. Katarina immediately went stiff. Naruto had written about being a shinobi, but she thought he was just like Lord Lucifer's little sister. What did he call her? An otaku. She had thought Naruto was just an otaku. Oh, and what do you learn at Shinobi Academy? Well, language, math, biology, history and geography. The devils in the room relaxed a bit at the answer. But that's just the first half of the day. The rest is physical education like sparring, taijutsu, knife work, and knife throwing. You know the basics. Naruto was trying to maintain a calm facade despite the chaos of emotions he just caused. Surzek has cleared his throat. That is an interesting workload. What do you do after you graduate? If you pass the exam and secondary secret exam, you are assigned to a team of 3 with an experienced shinobi as the leader of the squad. Then you are given missions to complete for the village. And what kind of Surzek was cut off before he could finish? That is enough, Katarina said sharply. What are your favorite subjects? Well, being in Uzumaki, I am exceptionally good at Fuinjutsu, which requires me to be good at math, sciences like physics, and oddly enough poetry. Even after we graduate from school, we are expected to continue our education on our own. Naruto hoped that would quell the angst that was spread across the room, but he decided not to say that physical training also qualified as continued education. Fuinjutsu, that translates to sealing techniques, right? That's right, Aji-san. That reminds me. Naruto slid his hand up his sleeve, which immediately put Surzek and his wife on edge. It did not help that the object Naruto pulled out was a strange knife. After I leave, this will be a way to summon me back. It has Fuinjutsu written onto the handle that will allow me to travel back to this world. You just have to throw it into the ground to call me. It is actually my dad's technique, I just had to modify it to allow me to travel between dimensions. Katarina took the kunai reverently and hid it somewhere in her dress that Naruto could not fathom. I think that is enough for one night. Let me show you to your room. It felt like they had crossed the entirety of Konoha just to reach his room. But in the end, he decided it was worth it as he settled into the most comfortable bed he had ever been in his entire life. He focused some chakra to his ears since his new family's room was not far away. He wanted to see how they felt about meeting him. Did you hear him? Naruto heard Katarina scream. He may not have needed the chakra after all. He did missions for his village at the age of 12. When he first said he was a shinobi, I thought it was just a joke or a hobby, but no, it's been his job since he was a child. Did you see how silent he walked or how he positioned himself when he entered a new room? You can't tell he is anything but human when looking at him, but when he hugged me his power felt endless. I know, dear. I know, I could see it in his eyes. He has had a hard life, but look at him, he is a good man and a happy person despite the hardships. When he heard Lady Phoenix start to sob, he cut the chakra to his ears and sighed. Maybe I should have eased them into it, but it's not like I could just say hi. I am a shinobi, we kill for a living. No need to be so melodramatic, Naruto. I thought today went well. Where the hell have you been? When you felt how powerful they were, I decided to lay low. We aren't sure of their sensing capabilities, so I thought it was for the best. You're right. I will just try to avoid the subject tomorrow, which might be difficult with Surzek there. There is not much that man misses. I wonder how Sakura-chan is doing? Naruto asked as he felt for the distant energy of the Horatian mark he placed on her. Konoha Hospital cafeteria. Hey forehead, that is like the 10th sigh I have heard from you in the last 5 minutes. Is having lunch with me so boring? What? No, I just have something on my mind, Inopig. Sakura continued to play with her rice and her lunch. She wished she still had some of that onigiri Naruto had made for her yesterday. Is it about Sasuke-kun's message today? Have you read it? Did he send you something? Did he send me something? Has it already been a month since that first letter? Luckily for Sakura, Ino just assumed she was talking about Sasuke's report. No, I haven't been to the Hokage to see it. I am busy, so I don't think I am going today. That's right, you and Naruto have been doing some serious training lately. How is the idiot? Don't call him that, said Sakura a little too harshly. He is doing fine. He is currently training with the toads. Ino wrinkled her nose at the thought of the slimy amphibians. Hey, about that is what I heard about Naruto true? What did you hear? Ino for once clammed up. The Hokage and his advisors are keeping what they did to Naruto a secret. She was not going to be the one caught spreading the rumors. Nothing. I am just glad you are keeping his mind off of it. We were all rooting for him, so it must have been devastating. We all just assumed he would be the next, you know. Thanks, but he is keeping his head up. Good. Ino paused for a moment. That's good. Sakura narrowed her eyes. What? It's just there have been some pictures passed around lately. And is he really that hot without his shirt on? Sakura's only answer was to turn bright red. He is. Then you have to invite me over to one of those training sessions of yours. I don't think you could handle it, Ino. Not that you're not strong enough. Sakura backpedaled. It's just that Naruto has stamina for days. Does he now? And you know about his stamina from personal experience, huh? Should Sasuke-kun be worried? I didn't mean it like that, you perverted pig. I have to get back to work. Ino watched her flustered best friend stomp out of the cafeteria. Ino knew she was on to something juicy. After all, Sakura never said Sasuke-kun should not be worried. Sakura pushed Ino's incessant gossiping aside and focused on the distant energy she knew was Naruto. It was a relief to her and Lady Tsunade that the Hiraishin marker she placed on Naruto continued to work even after the summons. It not like she needed him, or anything, but it was incredibly hard not to just flash to his side. And with Naruto not around, Lady Tsunade would no doubt use this opportunity to head out to the bars. Just the thought of going home to an empty house made her itch. She was just going through the motions as the day floated by. There was nothing she was going to remember besides showing up and leaving. I'm home, said Sakura, not expecting a reply as she slid off her shoes. Damn it! She heard her sensei shouting from the other room. Welcome home, now come over here and show me how to fix this stupid thing. The sitting room was a disaster. Ink and scrolls littered the floor, also somehow there was ink on the walls and ceiling. I thought you said you were going to create your Hiraishin later? Yeah, I was, but you said you could tell Naruto was okay because of the marker you placed on him. So I thought I could just knock this out before he got back. Once I get familiar with yours and his marker, then I will be able to tell if you two are safe at all times. Well, I can't really tell if he is safe, just that he's alive and the marker is active. That is all I need to know. Sakura knelt down next to her teacher and smiled at the clear concern she had for her students. She looked at the work completed so far and was not impressed. She better call into the hospital tomorrow, as it was going to be a long night. At least she will not feel like such a novice like she does when she helps Naruto. DxD Phoenix Manor. So you think you could turn me into a devil? Surzek leaned forward on the dinner table. Well, to be honest with you, Naruto, turning you into a devil is easy, but for you, we are trying to awaken your birthright so you are a phoenix. It really depends on you. If you are not powerful enough, the object will reject you. Naruto nodded along. I don't think that will be a problem. When do you think we can try? Surzek raised an eye at how accepting of becoming a devil Naruto was. The phoenixes, on the other hand, could not suppress their joy that Naruto would soon be one of them. I will need a few weeks to get it ready, and I need a private location. The walls have ears and the process will be felt by any strong devils nearby. I have an idea of a place, so it should not be a problem. Great. I hear that your messenger toad, Daisuke, should be returned to your service in a few days. So send me a message when it's ready. Can I bring 2 others with me? That is fine, Naruto, Lady Phoenix answered. I would love to meet your teammate and teacher. From what you have said, they seem like wonderful women. And do they hold the same profession as you? Lord Lucifer, from what Naruto has told me, they are doctors. Katarina's no-nonsense tone told Surzek that he really had no say in whether they were allowed or not. Surzek kept his mouth shut, especially under the stern eyes of his wife. He felt like all the women in his life were being so mean to him lately. His mother is angry about the riser thing. Lady Phoenix is upset with him for being cautious. His wife is annoyed because she wants to see this family reunited but feels like he is slowing down the process. And most importantly, his cute, smart, and beautiful little sister does not want him around anymore because she is growing up. Does he zone out looking like his spirit is crushed often? Only when he thinks about his little sister. Lord Phoenix said with a smirk. He has a bit of a condition when it comes to her. Their meeting completed soon after, as Surzek could no longer focus. He wished his new family a good night, and made his way back to his room alone in their gigantic home. They were too trusting, he felt, not that he would break their trust. But coming from him, that is saying something. It could be that they were powerful people with a powerful peerage, and that led them into a sense of security. Naruto's musing was interrupted by a shout from down the hall. Servant! He had felt her life force approaching earlier but had thought nothing of it. He realized this must be his new aunt. Servant! What are you doing in this part of the residence after hours? Ugh, never mind. Ravel looked at the young man and almost tripped over herself. By the Satans, he was good-looking, and those markings on his cheeks, he looked so feral, like he would ravish her at any moment. Ravel shook her head to clear those thoughts. She was a daughter of the Phoenix clan, she would not be caught fawning over some servant. Servant, I have a party to attend tomorrow. I expect this dress cleaned and pressed up to my standards by morning. She handed over the garment. It was a deep crimson, sophisticated number, definitely deserving of a high-class social event. Of course, Oju-chan. I will get right on it. If she had not been so caught up in his foxy smile, she would have noticed the inappropriate name, or the devious glint in his slitted eyes. As she left, Naruto couldn't help but smirk. The classics always made the best pranks, especially with a bit of Fuinjutsu added into it for shock value. Chapter 3: Becoming a Devil. Underworld Phoenix Manor. Naruto, I want you to have these. Katarina handed 2 large tomes to Naruto. One is the history of the Phoenix clan, the other is a theory of magic. I know you cannot use it now, but I thought you could go through it so you have some idea of how magic works. Thanks, and I have something for you too. Tsunade would kill him if she knew what he was about to do. Naruto rolled up his left sleeve, bit his thumb, and wiped the blood on his forearm. After the smoke faded, there was a book in his hand. No Uzumaki would be caught dead without a Fuinjutsu manual on them. This is a primer on Fuinjutsu. It has some of my personal notes mixed in. I am trusting you with it. This is for yours and Aji-san's eyes only. I know you got some seals to work with magic even if it was less potent, but I want you to be careful, seals are dangerous. I will try to come up with an amplifier or conversion so seals will work with magic instead of chakra. Katarina had expressed interest in fuinjutsu as she was trying to get closer to her grandson. She thought that if it was one of his favorite things then she should know what it is. She found herself becoming increasingly more interested in it. Devils did have runic magic, but this was a completely different system to their own. It was as versatile as it was complex, perfect for any devil that considers themselves an intellectual. At the word chakra, Surzek's eyes had gone wide. He had thought that Naruto may have some human magic which compared to the supernatural faction's magic is very weak. Chakra is also thought of as weaker than magic, but there is some very powerful yokai. Some yokai that even make a Satan take notice. As far as he could tell, Naruto was 100% human, but he also was from a different world. He could be a powerful ally or an even more powerful enemy. Surzek's Naruto spoke, drawing the Satan out his musing. I hear congratulations are in order. According to Aji-san, your little sister has added a new member to her peerage. Thank you, and I am sure that Lord Phoenix has told you all about Rias. Surzek's eyes narrowed as he looked over Naruto's shoulder at an unassuming Amadeus Phoenix, a look that Naruto did not miss even if he did not understand it. We don't know how powerful he is, but she sounds hopeful. Naruto, it has been a pleasure having you in the underworld. Surzek shook Naruto's hand. I will contact you soon with details and we will get you turned into a devil. You make it sound so easy. Well, you know what they say about deals with the devil. If they say devils make quick and easy deals, then yes. But otherwise not really. It is time for me to head back or they will start to send out hunting parties. It was nice meeting all of you and I will write to you soon, Bachan. Hey, don't call me that, brat. Katarina Phoenix shouted as the bright golden flash lit up the room, leaving the spot where Naruto once stood empty. Surzek stared at the now empty side of the room. It was brief, but in that moment of the flash, Naruto had relaxed the suppression of his chakra. The power that Surzek felt was vast and endless, a roiling sea of destruction. And at that moment he figured it might not be so bad to have Naruto tied Rias, but he dreaded telling either of them. As the dejectedness settled over him, he had a thought of brilliance. Grafia, do not forget to tell Naruto and Rias of their engagement. Element Nation Senju training grounds. Sakura practically jumped into his arms as he arrived back at the Senju compound. How was it? Is your family nice? Tell us everything. Sakura let the poor boy breathe. Welcome home, Naruto. Dinner is ready, how about we talk inside? As they sat down, he noticed that tonight for dinner was Tsunade's favorite yakisoba, and the only thing she really knew how to cook. Well, first off, they are not human but a race called devils. My father was a pure-blooded devil, but his bloodline was sealed by a ritual before he was sent here. That makes some sense, Tsunade said as she poured herself some sake. Sensei, what do you mean? How does it make sense? Minato's baby records are strange, so I chalked it up to error because the issues seemed to go away after a few checkups. It must have been his body adapting to a new environment. What else did you find out? They want to awaken my heritage and turn me into a devil. I have agreed. They should have the process set up in a few weeks. Tsunade pushed her yakisoba to the side and brought her hands in front of her face, reminding the other two in the room that she was the fifth Hokage. Naruto, tell me everything. And so he did. He explained Devil Society, the ranking distinction like low, middle, high and ultimate class devils. He explained their dark history, the civil war, the continued civil unrest by the old devils and the separation from the human world. Finally, he told them of peerages and how high-class devils increased their numbers. And enemies? They do not become that powerful without making a few enemies. There are the main three factions, Heaven and its angels, Grigori of the fallen angels and the devils of underworld. Currently, they are in an unstable peace just like ours before the Fourth War. There is also a faction called yokai who use a version of chakra. I almost thought they were summons when Aji-san mentioned them. Very well, I approve of you becoming a devil. The potential gains outweigh the weaknesses. We will be coming with you when you go through the ritual. I know, I have already asked and been given permission to bring you next time. See Sakura, he can be trained. Tsunade grinned as she pulled her yakisoba back over. Sakura, you have been awfully silent. What do you think of all this? The pink-haired medic stirred from her deep thoughts. If you are sure about it, then I am with you all the way. Do you think you will get your own peerage set? If I have enough power to be considered a high-class devil, then yeah, I will get a peerage set that will allow me to turn people into devils. She snorted before she spoke. You not powerful enough? Yeah, right, of course, you will get your own set. Sakura paused and took a breath to gain some confidence. Do you think I can join you? The smile Naruto gave her in return did funny things to her stomach. Of course, Sakura. I was going to ask you, but you beat me to it. You have 2 weeks or so to think about it, and it is fine if you change your mind. Sakura just nodded with a light blush adorning her cheeks. Tsuchan, would you like to join us? Tsunade ignored Sakura's gasp at the nickname. In any other situation, she would have smacked Naruto in the head with her shoe. I would like that. I do have to keep a watch on my 2 students. You two tend to get into trouble without me. So what did you do without me around? That's right, Sensei has a surprise for you. Really? Naruto moved his head just in time to dodge a knife flying by, but it was followed by a bright blue flash. A hand pulled Naruto up and spun him around into a hug. We are glad you are back, Gaki. You learned Hiraishin while I was gone. That's amazing. Now we can work on teamwork exercises using them, Tsunade snorted. All you think about is training. It's too bad all my markers are on sake bottles. Don't let her fool you, Naruto. She wanted to be able to sense your marker at all times. Sakura's grin showed them that she could not wait to tell Naruto about Tsunade's worrying. She opened her mouth to do just that when Tsunade cut her off. Sakura, said Tsunade in a tone that made the girls shiver. You and I will be doing some one-on-one sparring now that dinner is finished. Sensei, be reasonable, Naruto just got back. Sakura grabbed Naruto and pulled her newly acquired human shield back to cover her. I am sure he won't mind, replied their sensei as she pushed Naruto out of the way. Which he was more than happy to do since Tsunade's smile promised pain. Naruto snuck out room attempting to ignore the fighting and the scream as Tsunade's punch literally launched Sakura out of the house towards the Senju training field. Once in his own room, he was pulled into his mindscape. Instead of the cave this time it was a temple and he was surrounded by the bijou. So I guess our older brother has informed of what happened with Sage Gigi. That and he told us about your new family. You're not going to forget us, are you, Naruto? No way, Matatabi, you will always be my sister. If I become a devil I can always be with you guys. Good answer, Naruto, this time it's Son Goku. We have all decided to come with you. To see a new world would be very exciting. Maybe we will find some strong enemies to face while we train for whatever father is expecting to come. Yes. I want a good fight. Sleeping all the time is boring. Shikaku, calm down, you don't need to be jumping everywhere. As for me, I would like to meet these yokai. Their species seems so interesting, I wonder what we could learn from them. I will see what I can do, Koko. I want to meet them as well. Naruto turned to Chome to ask her opinion only to see her laughing and wrestling with Shikaku on the ground while Saiken was poking them both with a stick. She is just too easygoing sometimes. What about you, Octopops? I am staying here with B, but you still have some of my chakra. I am wondering if I give you some more, will it have its own personality like when Kurama did when he was split up? It sounds like an interesting experiment. Gyuki raised his fist towards Naruto. B approves of this, but I cannot give you half, but maybe a quarter will suffice. Naruto touched fist, accepting the gift. You have done amazing things with our chakra without our guidance, but now imagine what you can do with us along for the ride. I can't wait, Octopops. Thank you, guys. I will do my best to honor all of you. Code Japan Occult Research Club Room. Rias looked away from Graphia and kicked her coffee table in frustration. Her annoying brother was up to something. First, Graphia informs her that Bastard Razor wants to see her, and now her brother is asking her if he can use her clubhouse for a meeting at the same time. If only she had some time, she would take a shower. That always relaxes her. Instead, now the thought of not having one is just adding to her frustration. What is that idiot up to? Bucho, did that table do something to you? The glare Issei received made him take a step back. Bucho, I think you should just explain what is happening instead of lashing out. Since the lashing has always been my job. Akino handed her best friend a cup of tea to calm her nerves. Rias sighed, you're right. Sorry for taking it out on you, Issei. The truth is. But as Rias was about to explain, she was interrupted by flames rising up from the ground and a person emerging from them. I haven't been to the human realm in a while, the blonde man spoke while turning to look at Rias. I have come for you, Rias, my love. Issei closed his fist. Who's this guy? The maid in the corner stepped forward for the first time. This is Razor Phoenix-sama. A pure-blooded, high-class devil and third son of the Phoenix family. Phoenix family? Graphia held in a sigh at the boy's ignorance. He was the fiancé of the Gremory family heiress apparent. Was? Rias and Razor shouted at the same time. What is my Oniai-sama up to? Another teleportation circle appeared in the club room to bring 3 devils with it. Mother, father, what are you doing here? Lord Lucifer, why is our third son here? And Rias and her peerage. Lady Phoenix glared at the Satan who was attempting to look away. You may have set this up, but I have a feeling it will not work out in your favor. Father, what did she mean when she said I am not engaged to Rias? Katarina Phoenix rested her hand on her husband's shoulder. He knew better than to speak right then. Razor, we had wanted to tell you this in private. She renewed her glare at Serzex. But we better include Ravel in this, she said as she snapped her fingers. Another teleportation circle appeared this time bringing Razor's peerage. Seriously, son, you had your whole peerage waiting on the teleportation. They are your peerage, not dogs to follow your beck and call. She rubbed the bridge of her nose in frustration. We are not getting into this right now. Razor, you in a few moments will not be the youngest son of the Phoenix family. We have discussed this with the Gremorys. You are no longer engaged to Rias. There was a celebratory yes shouted, but they could not identify who. Razor no longer had a smug look on his face. It had been replaced with an embarrassing look of someone about to throw a fit. What do you mean we are no longer engaged? If not me, then who? And there it was. Razor was red with anger, and a vein throbbed in his forehead. It looked like his favorite toy was just taken away from him. Our grandson. Lady Phoenix threw the kunai into the floor. She wanted her favorite to make an entrance. After a bright golden flash, 3 more people entered the already crowded clubhouse. Luckily the room was much larger than was really needed. Naruto was in an orange and black kimono, but it was not as upscale as the one he wore to their first meeting. Next to him were two women, one with long blonde hair wearing a green hakama and blue pants. The other was a rather slender girl with short-cut pink hair and bright green eyes wearing a red chipao. Bachan, Naruto swept Lady Phoenix into a hug. Idiot, I told you not to call me that. Katarina Phoenix may have said that, but the smile on her face showed that her heart wasn't really into it. You! Ravel Phoenix called out. What did you do to my dress, Auntie? Did you like it? I thought the color suited you. Suited me, are you blind? The color was bright orange. And I was in front of all those people. Wait, Auntie, but you're human? Not for long, Naruto replied as he swooped Ravel up for a hug. What are you doing, human? I cannot be your aunt. Ravel's blush was atomic, he was just so warm and firm in all the right places. Naruto. What did we say about acting inappropriately? Ahaha, the laugh sounded completely unnatural as he set his aunt back on the floor. He rubbed the back of his head on his way back over to Sakura. You said not to, Naruto replied shakily. Sorry, Sakura-chan. His smile made her turn away and mumble that it was okay. Naruto, why don't you introduce me to these lovely ladies? Katarina stepped towards her grandson's two companions, dragging her husband with her. Ladies? Razor laughed in derision. Mother, the pink one is obviously a boy. There is nothing on her that makes her womanly at all. What did you say? It came out of Sakura quietly, but it screamed pain and suffering. The power coming off her made the hair stand on the back of the devil's neck. Rias's peerage could barely stand and not black out. Naruto held her back by the shoulders. Sakura-chan, you need to calm down. You can't go around killing my new family members because they're jerks. I am calm, Naruto, just let me give him a little punch. No, your little punch will kill him. Come on, just 4 or 5 punches. That's even worse. You will kill him 4 or 5 times. Mega Ape! The sudden shout dragged Sakura out of her tunnel vision. Issei had leaped across the room, his hands in front of him, his eyes locked on the 5th Hokage's chest. The train wreck that was happening was almost moving in slow motion for everyone that was watching. The bottom of Tsunade's fist slammed down on the top of Issei's head, causing him to face plant into the clubroom's marble floor. The light spider webbing of cracks in the floor showed that she at least held back a majority of her strength. You are 1,000 years too early to even think you could sneak up on me, Gaki. The devils finally really noticed Tsunade. The women of the group narrowed their eyes as they saw her chest. It was large enough to even make Rias and Akino self-conscious. Rias and her peerage could now understand why Issei went ultra-pervert mode. Sensei, you really did put a seal on your sake bottles. Tsunade just ignored her pink-haired student to take another drink from the sake bottle that was not in her hand when they first teleported. Is he going to be alright? Mega Ape, Issei said in a sort of death rattle. The stupid smile and drool on his face told Naruto that the boy was going to live. Perverts are resilient, answered the young white-haired girl from the couch as she enjoyed some mochi. That's the truth, Kitty-chan. They always seem to get back up. Naruto nodded at his fellow pervert hater, causing her to have a tiny smile. Enough. Why is this human engaged to my Rias? Wait, hold on now. Engaged? Naruto's voice squeaked out. I think someone forgot to tell me something. Grafia stepped forward once more. Yes, Naruto-sama, once you become a devil you will be entered in a marriage contract with Rias Gremory. That settles it then, Naruto said as he stepped back to put his hands on Tsunade and Sakura's shoulders. We are leaving. I am sorry for the inconvenience. Naruto, you have finally found your family. We can't just leave. But Sakura, Naruto said as they turned to face one another. No, Naruto, it will be okay. I will be okay. Everything will work out. Are you sure? I have to be. She's right, Naruto, you should go through with this. Okay, if you two think we should. Naruto turned to the crowd. For those who don't know me, my name is Naruto Uzumaki. The woman to my right is the 5th Hokage Tsunade Senju, and to my left is my teammate Sakura Haruno. Which one of you is Rias Gremory? I am. A girl with red hair stepped forward. In a word, she was gorgeous. Thin waist, huge breast and ass so firm you could eat off it if you were into that sort of thing. Naruto was not one to judge. It is nice to meet you, Uzumaki-san. Though I cannot pretend to be excited about our engagement. She also looked like she has never experienced a hard day in her life. Rias-sama, Grafia admonished her. No, it is alright. I feel the same way. She is not exactly my type. What? Rias squawked. She may think he is incredibly handsome, but she was not going to let him get away thinking she is not pretty enough for him. Well, except for your beautiful red hair. Ufufubucho, I think I like him. Would you mind sharing? Akino, Rias said in a tone that implied they were not talking about this right now. What do you mean I am not your type? Am I not pretty enough or smart enough? What makes me not good enough for you? Her eyes were narrowed and her breathing was ragged. Naruto would have to approach this carefully. It's none of those things. You see, you're not the first Ojo-sama or princess I have come across. Hell, you're not even the first engagement I have ever gotten out of, but you are the first person I have met that seems to be given everything she desires without having to work for it. Yeah, Naruto was as careful as Shikaku in a china shop. He scratched his cheek at the silence that filled the room. He could hear Tsunade and Sakura whispering about something though, and thankfully a majority of her negative feelings had subsided. See mother, he doesn't even want to marry her. Don't let this human ruin our family and history. Uncle, you were still here, I forgot all about you. That's it, I have had enough of you human. I challenge you and your peerage to a match for the rights to Rias. Razor, you go too far. I think you and your peerage need to head home to cool off. Amadeus Phoenix intervened, attempting to stop this disaster. I accept, but what do you wager in return? Like I said before, idiot, her hand in marriage. I already have that right, and since you are not offering something in return as per game rules, I can request something or equal, or lower value. Naruto looked over at everyone in the room. Rias looked to be completely in her own world. She was biting her lip and everything. Naruto thought she looked incredibly cute. The girl next her seemed to be enjoying her best friend's anguish. There was something not quite right with that girl. His eyes landed on the Revel, his aunt/little sister. She looked equally embarrassed as she did frustrated. I want Revel to join my peerage, and Naruto heard a cough coming from his sensei. By the looks of it, she was less than impressed with how everything was proceeding, and if Naruto was honest with himself, this has really turned into a shit show. Tsunade flashed a few A and BU hand signs at him, and since this wager involves a girl's happiness for the next 10,000 years or so, I feel Razor should put up his own. If he loses, his peerage privileges are to be revoked for the next 100 years. His peerage is to be disbanded. All his members are to be trained up to high-class devils at his cost, or they have the option to leave his service completely. You can't do that. Razor had gone pale. Sirzex, since you're the shady bastard who set us all up, I assume you are the game master. Is wager fair and agreeable? We do not have a way to remove somewhere from a peerage without a trading piece. Sirzex looked like he had eaten something sour. Naruto was not as naive and easygoing as he had thought. Naruto's grin widened as his eyes almost closed. You have a century, I am sure you will figure something out. Fox, Kaneko said in the background, eating popcorn as she watched Naruto. Yes, the wager is agreeable. The game will be held in 10 days. Now wait a minute, it is certainly not agreeable. I did not agree to anything. Razor's whine was music to Ria's ears. She had been tortured with this marriage hanging over her head for years, and now he was going to get what he had coming. She would kiss Naruto right now if they weren't in a room full of other people. It was Revel who responded to Razor's complaining. You idiot! It doesn't matter if you find it agreeable or not, you instigated the challenge without offering something up. That leaves it up for your opponent to decide what they want. Your sister is right, and now it is time for you all to leave. You shouldn't have been here in the first place. Katarina Phoenix forcefully teleported Razor and his peerage from the clubroom. Naruto, I cannot say that I don't agree with what you are doing, but please do not hurt him too badly. I don't want to fight family either, so I promise not to lay a finger on him. Lady Phoenix glanced over to the lithe pink-haired girl named Sakura who was popping her knuckles. Yeah, that's what I was afraid of. And Sirzex, Naruto called out to the devil who was trying to hide in the background. Since this is all your fault, I am expecting a favor I can call in at a later time. Fine, Sirzex huffed. Let's get this show on the road before my day gets any worse. Can somebody explain to us what is going on? Oh sorry, where are my manners? My name is Kibayuto. I am Bucho's knight. Kaneko, Rook. Next to speak was the petite blonde. I am Asia Argento. I am Rias-sama's bishop. Era, I am Akino Himejima, and I am Rias' queen. The girl bowed. It is my pleasure to meet you, Uzumaki-sama. Please, it's just Naruto. Can we finally get down to what we are all here for? Tsunade's impatience was leaking into her voice. And what are you doing all in my club room? Rias asked imperiously as she crossed her arms under her bust. The act did not go unnoticed by Sakura, who growled in response. Sirzex drew everyone's attention as he opened a wooden box that he pulled from the interior of his coat. This is why we are here. Inside the box lies a white chess piece. Naruto, this king piece will awake your devil bloodline. If you are powerful enough, you will become a phoenix and all that it entails. Come over here and take it from me. You are the only one who can touch it, otherwise it will become corrupted. I cannot even move too much with it. But Oniai-sama, I thought those pieces were banned. That is what we tell the public. The truth, there is only a few of them that were made, and they are powerful. They can only be used in special circumstances. In the moments it took for Naruto to reach out, the king piece shifted from white to a deep crimson. The king shook and vibrated as cracks formed along its exterior. Hurry, take it, you're too powerful. If it breaks, it's useless. Naruto grabbed the king and slammed it to his chest, where it melted into his body. The changes came slowly as the piece analyzed his body. Then the thrum of magical energy filled his body, changing him, making him more than just human. In fact, he could feel his mortal humanity fade as the changes grew. If he had not been a sage so connected to his body, he would not have noticed it at all. But it seemed he was too powerful for the king piece that was going to fail. It would either kill him by poisoning his partially changed body, or he would be just a regular devil, still powerful but not a phoenix. Naruto closed his eyes as he let his instincts take over. They told him to embrace this world's natural energy. Falling into sage mode, he could feel this world's vile hatred, but it was far less than that of the elemental nations before the Fourth Shinobi War. As he purified the natural energy, he fed it into the king piece, fueling it to complete the ritual. In sage mode, his senses practically covered the world, and several beings that he definitely did not want to take notice of him took notice. The energy of the king died down, completing the ritual, and the piece absorbed fully into him. Naruto opened his eyes, took a breath and released all the purified natural energy he had stored. All of Ria's peerage had blacked out. Ria herself was on her knees and struggling to stay there. Sakura was doing better than her new rival, but she was still on a knee. Lady Phoenix was breathing heavily and her curls were plastered to the sides of her face with sweat. Her husband was in a similar state. Graphia, Surzex, and Tsunade looked unperturbed with only a light sweat on their foreheads. Surzex cleared his dry throat. That was interesting. So Senjutsu, huh? Yes, I am the sage of Mount Myaboku. Is that a problem? It could be. It is assumed that using Senjutsu will drive you insane, then they were not taught how to use it correctly. Naruto, Tsunade cut through the questions and got back to the reason they were all here. How are you feeling? Any adverse effects? Tsunade's palmlet was green medical chakra as she placed it on his forehead. No, I feel great like I would if I was in sage mode without the sensing aspects. She removed her hand from his forehead and nodded. That makes sense, your bones are stronger and your muscles and organs have been reinforced. There is also a new energy running through your body. Katarina Phoenix had somehow cleaned herself up, not a single hair of hers was out of place. There is no doubt that you are powerful enough and deserve your own peerage. The box she held out to Naruto, deep red mahogany box. He took it in reverence, opening it to show the devil pieces inside. Naruto looked up to the two people who he had considered as family before the summoning. Tsuchan, do you still want to be a part of my peerage? Do you even need to ask Naruto? Of course I would. Is there any incantation I need to say? No, but many devils come up with their own, Surzex said with keen interest. He really had not expected Naruto to start his peerage today, not that he doubted the boy's power but that his friends would give up their humanity so easily. He apparently was not the only one who thought that. Just like that, you would give up your humanity? Lord Phoenix asked. Tsunade's answer was prompt and direct, not looking away from Naruto. We are shinobi before we are human. Becoming a devil is just another tool in our arsenal. I also would not want Naruto to go on this journey alone. Naruto grabbed his queen, which began to redden as it mutated the closer it got to Tsunade. Tsuchan, despite what the pieces represent, you are family, and in our family, we are all equal. Naruto placed the queen in the center of her bountiful chest where it absorbed the piece. After a few seconds, there was no visible change until Tsunade Genjutsu failed. Naruto had seen her once without the illusion, but she already looked younger than that. At first, she looked at least 40, but her age kept declining until she looked just as old as Naruto and Sakura. What the hell, was Tsunade's first response as she looked at her hands and produced a mirror to check herself out. Sorry we didn't inform you, but when devils reach their maturity their aging slows down exponentially. Katarina Phoenix explained with a smirk. So you may have been whatever in human years, but to us, you are still a teenage child, and becoming a devil has reflected that. What? No one told me that. Naruto tried not to snicker at Tsunade's high girly voice. Be quiet or I will take away your sake. I believe my grandson still has one more peerage member. Tsunade did not seem to register that Lady Phoenix spoke. She was too busy testing her body and analyzing the new energy that she has found within herself. She squeezed her fist. She was definitely stronger, and her chakra capacity had increased. There was something else inside her that just seemed to snap into place. It had always been there but locked away. She opened her hand and forced that new chakra out. A small sapling grew from her palm until she pulled it back. She was pulled from her self-introspection as she saw Naruto approach her apprentice. Sakura stopped Naruto from speaking as he opened his mouth. Naruto, we have been teammates since we were 12 and that is not going to change. So yes, I will join you. Sakura gathered her courage and stood up on her tiptoes to kiss the corner of his mouth. Hurry up and do it already. Sakura smirked in Ria's direction. The girl had recovered since Naruto's awakening and was now feeling jealous as the pink-haired harlot kissed her fiancé. Rias was not vain, but the amount of power that Naruto had made her need a new pair of panties. Naruto was powerful and power was always attractive to devils. She was not going to jump him right now, and she was still angry over being forced to marry, but he seemed nice and handsome, and did she mention powerful, so she was more than willing to get to know him better. At least she was not as bad as Akino, who was moaning Naruto's name while her body shuddered as she rubbed her legs together. The bishop that Naruto grabbed mutated, turning red as it neared Sakura. It absorbed into her chest, but there was no reaction. Naruto, hurry, she needs a second bishop, Katarina spoke in awe of the girl. Naruto immediately pushed a second mutated bishop into Sakura. The changes were immediate. Dark black wings exploded from her back. Sakura's light athletic build became even more so as her muscles firmed up, though her hips and ass developed defined rounded curves, not that she was lacking in that department before. Power exploded outward from Sakura as she did not have the same experience as Tsunade or Naruto did in suppressing her power. Sakura felt like she could do anything. Her strength and chakra increased tenfold, and her connection to her element, earth, felt stronger than ever. As Sakura's power settled, Surzex spoke, breaking the silent reverence of the girl. It seems that I must apologize. I had not known we would be welcoming 3 high-class devils into the fold. Otherwise, I would have brought 3 peerage sets. He could barely keep his happiness contained. A new group of powerful devils was always a good thing in his mind. It made them stronger as a species to bring in new blood, especially with the whispers of a new faction whose sole purpose is to end the peace between factions. The old devils could never understand that each and every new devil brought in new possibilities. They were untapped potential, and these three were the definition of that. They would unquestionably bring the Phoenix clan to new heights. There is no need, Tsunade answered. Sakura and I have discussed it. We have no intention of starting our own peerage anytime soon or ever. As Naruto said, we are family, and that is not something set aside lightly. Surzex gave a shallow nod. I understand. Many younger devils are too occupied with starting their own peerage for less than honorable reasons. He quickly glanced down at that down-drooling pawn. Naruto, come see me when you are ready to cash in your favor. Now I must get out of here before you squeeze more out of me. Surzex and his maid vanished in their Gremry teleportation circle before Rias could give him a piece of her mind. She growled in frustration next time she was going to wring his neck. Akino's sharp elbow brought her back to the moment, and the guest in their club room. Naruto, I feel amazing, Sakura stated as she squeezed her hand into a fist. Thank you. I know I haven't always been the greatest friend, but to officially be a part of your family means a lot to me. Sakura-chan, he spoke through a heartfelt smile. You know you have been a part of my family for years. She drew closer to him, putting her hands on his chest. I know even if I didn't deserve it. Oju-sama, Akino whispered to Rias. It looks like you have your work cut out for you. Someone else already has your fiancé's eye. She smirked as she reveled in her king's jealousy. She rubbed her legs together once again, pondering if he would be open to having a mistress. The whisper caused Naruto and Sakura to jump apart as if scalded. Both of them were blushing in embarrassment. Deciding to save them from further embarrassment, Amadeus Phoenix spoke. Grandson, you leave tomorrow, so you should stay here and spend some time meeting people your age. But be at the manor with your peerage for dinner. Katarina got the last word in before they also disappeared in a teleportation circle. I am not a teenager. The busty blonde shouted, causing her chest to jiggle. She did not remember her chest being this big when she was 17. It seems they did not lose any size as she aged, she only shortened in height to match her teenage self. Tsuchan, you certainly look like one. Don't call me that. She nearly shouted in response, but she was confused by the blush that ran to her cheeks. Yes, sensei, do I still have to call you sensei? It doesn't feel right. You're still my apprentice regardless of how I look. Or do I have to knock you around until you remember that, brat? No, sensei. The pink-haired shinobi responded instantly. And Naruto, wipe that smirk off your face before I wipe it off for you. Tsunade's glare as he opened his mouth stopped his response cold. He didn't feel like flying through a wall today. Fufu. It looks like we have some interesting guests. Why don't you have a seat, and I will prepare some tea. Aisha-chan, I think you have healed Issei for long enough. He will wake up when his wet dream is over. No one even batted an eye to the insult as they could still hear him mutter mega pay from time to time. The shinobi were surprised that they had completely overlooked the meat girl's presence. Akino started to make her way to the small kitchen, but she was stopped by Tsunade. No, I feel like becoming devils requires more of a celebration. She gave Naruto a knowing look. He sighed in return. Of course you do. An unlabeled bottle of sake appeared in his hand with a yellow flash. I can't believe it. You put a marker on your sake bottles too? Sakura shouted in disbelief. She expected better of him. Naruto wore an immense look of pride as he answered. This is not just any bottle of sake, Sakura-chan. It is a never-ending bottle of sake. It is connected directly to the barrels on Mount Mayaboku. But it is just one experiment. I am still working on a bottomless bowl of ramen. Sakura worked herself up into a frenzy. The bottle is bad enough, but I will not allow you to only eat ramen. I have worked hard enough to get you to eat proper foods. I will not let you backslide to ramen. They both then noticed how Tsunade went oddly still. Her eyes were still locked on the bottle in Naruto's hand. She licked her lips as if she was dying of thirst, and she had just come to an oasis. And Naruto, if you give me that bottle, I will give you all my techniques and train you until they are mastered. Hell, I will drop all my apprentices and make you my sole apprentice. She ignored the squawk from Sakura and continued, I will give you my home, my money, and the clothes off my back. Naruto gave her his most unimpressed look and crossed his arms, firmly securing the bottle away from the drunkard. Sensei, you are already my teacher. I do not need to be your only apprentice, and most of your techniques won't work for me. You can call me Tsuchan in public. Tsunade blurted out in panic. Now I am listening. And then I will not drink any sake until after dinner. Her mind reeled back in shock at what she had just said. That would significantly cut down her drinking. Deal. Naruto responded before she could take it back. But I am not a monster. You can drink if I or Sakura-chan are present. Sakura pulled Naruto by the collar over to her. Naruto, you cannot be serious, she furiously whispered. Just think about it, Sakura-chan. You have been trying to get her to cut back for years, and now she cannot drink before dinner. The liquor store that opened up next door to us is going to go out of business without her. What's the big deal? It's just sake. The blonde called Kiba asked, not really understanding just how close he is to death with that question. Tsunade snatched the bottle from Naruto's hands and mechanically turned to Kiba. What's the big deal? Have you ever had sake, brat? No, I am not old enough to drink. He responded calmly, keeping himself wrapped in his princely persona. Not old enough? Tsunade just snorted. And does your queen still change your diapers? Man up, brat, this isn't just sake, this is mountain sage sake. This isn't that cheap stuff I was drinking earlier. Sensei, your sake is like 500 ryo a bottle. That's not exactly cheap. Tsunade ignored her student and sat down on the couch next to Kaneko with Naruto following her. Akino-san, do you have some glasses? Let's all have a drink to celebrate. Sakura just sighed, sitting down on the armrest next to Naruto, sliding her arm protectively around his shoulder, as she watched Rias sat down across from them. She smirked at the fact that the redhead was obviously upset that they had been ignoring her. Akino set out cups and poured them all some sake before taking her place next to Rias. Tsunade grabbed her cup and held it up, looking at the others expectantly. Rias and her peerage, minus Issei, who was still passed out on the floor, grabbed the cup with a bit of hesitation. To family and new friends, Rias attempted to cover her coughing after she and the others had slammed the sake back. There had been a question on her mind since Naruto had been given his peerage pieces. Naruto-san, she said in the utmost seriousness she could convey. It seemed to have worked as the smiles dropped from the three guests' faces. The shinobi began to worry as Rias gave him a long hard stare. Tsunade tensed and Sakura slowly moved her hand towards a hidden kunai. The tension was broken as Rias reached across the table to take Naruto's hands in her own. She practically had stars in her eyes as she asked, "Is it true? Are you really a shinobi?" Yeah, we all are," he responded in confusion. Tsunade seemed annoyed as she relaxed and continued drinking. Sakura, on the other hand, was staring at his and Rias' connected hands, still considering reaching for her kunai. "Really? Tell me everything." The redhead sounded just like a child who wanted to play ninja after a day at the academy. Her peerage seemed to have expected the outburst. Kaneko was still eating, but this time as was Taiyaki. Akino giggled as Kiba just shook his head. He was still recovering from the burning of the sake in his stomach. He turned to Akino and whispered, "Issei has already lost, huh? He never had a chance if they are ninja." "Yep." Akino popped the pea as she responded. She spoke just loud enough for the kunoichi to hear. "Rias is just too much of an otaku. She would never let the chance of being with a real live ninja pass her by. Just watch, she is going to accidentally pull his hands into her chest and somehow convince him to teach her how to be a ninja." Rias leaned forward over her hands, smothering Naruto's as well in her bosom. "Do you think you could me some ninja things?" Naruto wanted to scratch head, but his hand were trapped in her warm and soft breast. He attempted to keep his thoughts clean because he could feel the back of his head catching on fire from the twin gaze coming from the kunoichi on either side of him. "We are very secretive of our techniques. They are only used for battle, so you can't teach me anything," she pouted. "I promise I will not show anyone, and it will be the perfect way to get to know each other better." Naruto cursed himself. He wanted his hands back, but then he also didn't. His conviction was breaking and everyone could tell. While he had fangirls to worry about nowadays, he still was not used to close contact. "I am not so sure, Naruto." Sakura jumped in before Rias could get her way. "I could show her a thing or two." "That's right, I think I could use some extra practice as well," Tsunade added. Her eyes were narrowed just like Sakura's, and if Naruto has seen it he would have been terrified. "But Naruto, you will be there to write?" "Good Kami." Her eyes were sparkling. "Oh, of course," he stuttered. Naruto breathed a sigh of relief as Rias let go of his hands to punch up in the air in silent celebration. Naruto had to admit it was very cute, even if he did not understand why she was so excited. "But you will have to wait a few days before we can come back." "Era, what about training for your match, Naruto-san?" Akino asked through a demure smile. It was sweet innocence that any man could easily fall for, but Naruto knew something was not quite right because his empathy sensor was screaming at him when he saw that smile. "Match? The match you just set up with your stupid uncle, idiot." Sakura reprimanded without any real heat to it. "Naruto-san, please take this seriously. I do not want to be that man's fiancé again." Sakura cleared her throat. "On second thought, maybe we should throw the match." "But Sakura-chan, I thought you really wanted to punch him." "You're right, it's not worth it. I want to punch that smug look off his face. See, Rias-chan, you have nothing to worry about. Sakura-chan is strong, he doesn't stand a chance." Rias forced down her blush at the affectionate name. "Wait, you're not going to fight him?" Tsunade snorted, almost spilling her drink, which caused her to glare at the redhead. "Sending Sakura after him is already overkill for that ponce. Like Naruto said, he doesn't stand a chance." Rias was not liking what she was hearing. These people were talking it way too easy. After all, Razor had a complete peerage. "So you are not going to train at all?" "We never said that," Naruto answered, looking offended at the very thought of it. "We train every day unless we are on a mission, then we are using our skills anyway." At least that gave Rias some reassurance. "If you say so. Just remember, Razor has a full peerage, and it's just the three of you. Though I do have some data on them I can give you." "Oh my, it seems Rias-sama has already gotten attached to you, Naruto-san. You seem to find yourself surrounded by beautiful women. Are you building your own harem already?" "I know multiple wives is something that is acceptable in Devil Society, but never figured you for someone who would start one so quickly." Akino had that damn smile that put Naruto on edge. Then it hit him who she reminded him of, but before he could confront her an icy chill ran down his spine. "And Naruto," Sakura over-enunciated through clenched teeth. "Is that why you wanted me to join?" Sakura-chan, I didn't know anything about that. He jumped off the couch and started to back away as she stepped closer. Don't listen to her. She is just like the crazy snake lady. She gets off to others' misery. His back was against the wall now. Besides, I don't feel that way about you anymore. What? Her fury died instantly. Yeah, she is like crazy snake lady Anko, Naruto answered in ignorance. You can't believe what she says. She just wants to cause problems. Naruto looked away from a seemingly lost Sakura towards Akino with a foxy grin. You want to see misery? I will show you misery. The look he gave her sent tingles down her spine and turned Akino on in ways she never thought possible. She couldn't tell if she was scared at the prospect of Naruto's retaliation or excited by it. While she attempted not to rub her legs together at all the delicious thoughts of humiliation, Naruto had already slipped a seal on her. By tomorrow morning the only sounds coming out of Akino's mouth will be taunt and zoink. Chapter 4, I feel so used. There were 3 standard questions Sakura asked every day since we became devils. Naruto, how's the arm? I trained all day and it's like new. Colors back and everything. And any update on the Bijou? No, they are still sleeping. That King Piece did something to them, but I can't tell what. Whatever is happening, it's not hurting them. That was a crazy freak out when Naruto had noticed the first day after the change. So, are we going to recruit anyone else? Sakura said while she brushed the hair that had fallen in her eyes behind her left ear. She sat with her bare feet curled under her. There were several books on magic sprawled on the table that she had been going through. Sakura had thought that learning the complex devil magic would pique her interest. Instead, she found herself drawn to the esoteric magic of shamanism. Devil magic was too strict, too full of rules. It no longer felt like magic, instead it was a mathematics equation. Maybe in her school days that would have appealed to her, but now she decided if she was going to learn magic it would be magical. What was more magical than traveling to the astral realm and forging a contract with a being beyond comprehension? Naruto did not understand what the big deal was. To him, shamanism sounded like a half-assed senjutsu, not that he would have said that to her face or ever. If that's what she wanted to do, he would be nothing but encouraging. I don't know, Sakura-chan, I haven't thought about it. I have been focusing on getting used to being a devil like you. Our match is tomorrow after all. Well, Tsunade said as she laid out on the floor, too tired from working on her grandfather's jutsu to move much. I have been thinking about it. I would like one more so we have a full team. But there are not too many options and most everyone we know is tied to the village. It was an easy decision for me because I am mostly retired since Shizen handles the hospital. I stick around to train you and Sakura. Sakura can do it for almost the same reasons. She only works part-time and she is your teammate. Where you go, she goes and vice versa. Everyone else has their own jobs, their own teams and their commitment to Konoha. As for Konoha, I have leeway being former Hokage and a Sannin. Sakura does too as my apprentice, so I could say we are going on a training trip and just disappear. You, on the other hand, will be difficult. As soon as your vacation ends they are going to throw you on tons of missions. Konoha needs you out there in the field to remind everyone just how powerful we are to keep them in line. Ugh, Naruto groaned in annoyance. He glanced away to keep his eyes from straying to Tsunade's exposed stomach. Her shirt had rolled up to expose her midriff and her heavy breathing displayed how firm it was. Yeah, I know, only a few weeks and I am back on active duty. What am I going to do and who are we going to recruit? I am working on it. That and your money situation should be resolved soon. And Sakura has mentioned someone who would work perfectly with the favor we are calling in with Surzek. Underworld New Lilith Arena. Naruto-sama, it is almost time for the match to begin. Is your peerage ready? We are ready, Grafia-chan, and call me Naruto. Is the arena set up like a forest? The silver-haired maid bowed her head. Yes, Naruto-sama. Naruto frowned as his shoulders sunk. You really need to stop calling me that, Grafia-chan. Naruto ignored the twitch over the woman's eye and turned to the pinkette that was pulling on her gloves. What do you say, Sakura-chan? Are you ready? The girl snorted in response. I would still be ready even if I was asleep. See, Mei-chan, Sakura-chan is the best, Naruto said as he pumped his fist with enthusiasm. She has everything under control. Idiot, Sakura complained, but her heart was not in it as she turned to cover her light blush. I do not doubt your friend's skills, but you should not take this match so lightly. Do I need to remind you that a girl's freedom is on the line? Grafia chided and then turned to the other blonde in the room. And do you not think it is an inappropriate time to be drinking? Tsunade hugged the bottomless sake bottle to her bosom to protect it. Mind your own business, Mei-chan. I have not been able to drink all week because I have been getting used to being a devil. Grafia gave Naruto a questioning look as he laughed behind his hand. The first day back she forgot about her henge and ran into Lee, who immediately confessed his undying love for her. That would be bothersome, Grafia stated hesitantly. But why would this be a problem? Is the man unattractive? Sakura continued the explanation to clear up Grafia's confusion. He's not ugly per se, but he has a bowl cut, wears a green jumpsuit, and has what looks to be caterpillars for eyebrows. He also has an obsession with being youthful and he is very enthusiastic about it. Yeah, Bushy Brow kept screaming at Tsuchan to go on a youthful date with him. He also has a habit of declaring his love for every pretty girl that walks by, right, Sakura-chan? Whatever, Sakura said, attempting to not be flustered at the offhanded compliment. Lady Tsunade only got out of it by saying she was already dating someone else. Graphia's lips curved up in an amused smirk. Oh, and how did you keep up the ruse? She forced me to take her on a date to a sushi restaurant. It wasn't a date, brat, Tsunade defended as punched Naruto. Naruto gracefully dodged and pointed at the woman in question. You made me pay for your sushi. That's a date. I am worth it, was Tsunade's calm response as she took another drink. And it still was not a date. You made me blow a whole month's worth of my ramen savings. Ha! So you care more about your ramen than it being a date. So then it was not a date. Hey, Naruto said as he crossed his arms in frustration. If it cost me a month's worth of ramen, it better be a date. Enough, Sakura ground out. She was tired of hearing about their date. It gave her an unwelcome feeling in her stomach. One that reminded her of her rivalry with Ino. They have been arguing on and off about their date all week, and Lady Tsunade refused to go outside or even drink until she could change her henge so it would make her look older rather than younger. We all have been ripping doors off their hinges. I could not go to work because I could not explain how a patient's cancer magically went into remission after I did some preliminary healing. Naruto gets giant wings of fire every time he gets into a good spar or has a taxing workout. I see. It can be difficult for powerful humans to adjust to becoming devils. No need to worry, Graphia-chan, we have it under control now. Graphia hummed in response. Since you are already, I must go make the match announcement. Good luck, the maid said before the ground beneath her lit up with a Gremry teleportation circle. Graphia reappeared next to Surzek and the Phoenix clan. Graphia, you are just in time to begin the match. Thank you for bringing Naruto-kun and his peerage to the arena. Of course, Lucifer-sama, Graphia answered as she gave a slight bow. Do you think they are prepared for the match? Surzek asked with interest. They are very free-spirited. I fear that they are not taking this match very seriously. Shame, the eldest Phoenix son said in a bored tone. I really wanted to see what my new nephew was capable of. Mother's bragging really got my hopes up. Quiet Rivel. I am sure my grandson has something planned. He was her favorite after all. A magic circle lit up beneath Naruto, Sakura and Tsunade, whisking them away to the forest battlefield that they requested. The trio tensed as Graphia's voice rang out from the sky. Welcome all. I am a servant for the Gremry clan, Graphia. This battlefield was built according to Naruto's and Razor's advantages. The Uzumaki peerage requested a forest, and we have provided one for this match. Both peerages have been transported to their respective bases on either side of the forest valley. The Uzumaki peerage has been placed in an open field. Razor's peerage has been placed in a replica of the Phoenix family's vacation home. The match begins now. So, what's the plan? Naruto asked as he did some light stretching. There are 15 of them total, Tsunade responded as she looked out into the forest in concentration. 2 groups of 6 are heading out in different directions, while it looks like Razor and his queen are staying behind. Sakura cracked her knuckles. Naruto, we will handle them. Sakura cracked her knuckles, then pointed to the sky. You should go get to know your aunt. Naruto followed Sakura's hand to where she pointed. Ravel was in the sky above the valley with her wings of fire holding her aloft. Sounds good. Don't hurt them too badly. Naruto watched the 2 women disappear in a swirl of leaves before his fiery wings unfurled from his back. He shot into the sky, appearing behind Ravel almost instantaneously. Naruto took a moment to watch her issue commands to the peerage before he draped his arm over her. You look cute when you are all serious, Auntie-chan. What? Get off me, you fiend! She shouted as she attempted to push Naruto away. But Ravel-chan, you really shouldn't be out here in the open during a fight. It's dangerous. Whose fault is that? You had to request this stupid forest. None of my surveillance magic works with all these damn trees in the way. Ah, come on, that's no excuse, Naruto said as he dragged Ravel out of the sky to a large tree that overlooked the valley. See if you sit on the branch and put away your wings, no one can see you. Now sit, let's watch the match. Ravel growled as she sat next to the feral beast. But I need to tell them where to go. Go ahead, I am not stopping you. Oh look, the girl with one pant leg is challenging Sakura-chan to a fight. That is Isabella, she is Oni-sama's rook, Ravel pointed out with a huff. She is a bit of a boxing junkie. Naruto put his hand to his chin. It's a shame that she is going up against someone like Sakura. You should tell that girl in the blue dress to join the fight. Ravel looked at Naruto in confusion. Why would you tell me to do that? It wouldn't be fair, and Isabella likes to have fair fights. You're right, you should tell those 2 with the chainsaws and the one with the staff to join in as well. Oh, too late. It started with just a few Sakura petals at first, but before Razor's peerage knew it, they were suddenly surrounded by hundreds. One in the priestess outfit caught on to what was about to happen, but her magical shield was too little too late. The flower petal became flame, exploding outward in every direction. The explosion leveled a good quarter-mile of the forest. Once the smoke cleared, only one person remained. Sakura stood with a smirk on her face without a scratch or a hair out of place. It was an image that Naruto would not soon forget. One of Razor's bishop has retired from the match. 2 of Razor's rooks have retired from the match. 3 of Razor's pawns have retired from the match. Neither would Ravel. What the hell was that? What an underhanded thing to do when challenged to a one-on-one fight. Ah, Naruto scratched his cheek as he thought of a way to justify Sakura's fight. They probably said something that pissed her off or underestimated how strong she is. She has a bit of a complex where that is concerned. But she held back a little. Held back. That's what you call held back. Yeah, it was only a C-rank jutsu. Oh, it looks like your other group has finally found Suchan. You should tell them all to attack her if they want to have a chance of hitting Suchan at all. Team Sword, attack her now. Do not let her get off a magical attack. Ravel called out over magical communication. The girl with the bandaged head used her night-enhanced speed to launch herself at Tsunade. She was surprised as her sword stabbed through the blonde Hokage's stomach. Tsunade went up in smoke, leaving a skewered log in her place. Before anyone could find her, Tsunade appeared behind the two Nikomata. She jabbed the back of their necks, causing them to scream in pain before they passed out. What did she do to them? Ravel asked as she clutched Naruto's arm in worry. They're fine. She knows not to hurt them too badly, only enough to make them retire. She probably hit them with a bit of lightning to the spine. Ravel gasped as a tree sprouted and grew at least 20 feet tall in front of Tsunade. The two knights jumped back in fear of an attack. Naruto turned away from the action to focus on his aunt. Why were you so shocked, Ravel-chan? Why, you should not be so familiar with me, idiot. And it is nearly impossible to create something living with devil magic. What's the big deal? We are family, and soon you will be a part of my peerage. Naruto said as he turned back to watch the tree shrink down to form a bakken. It was not the first time he had seen the technique. He was still nursing some serious bruises from it. That wooden sword is not going to stand up to Carloman or Cirrus. Wait, is she drinking? Ravel asked incredulously. The two maid pawns dashed at their full speed towards Tsunade. She sidestepped their sloppy attacks while chugging sake. The former Hokage then ducked a slash from the large Zweihander sword. Cirrus suddenly coughed up blood as Tsunade buried the butt of her bakken in the girl's guts. She disappeared in a shower of light. One of Razor's knights has retired. Tsunade twisted around to crack the two attacking pawns in the head, retiring them as well. That only left the knight. Carloman lit her sword aflame and charged Tsunade in anger. She blocked the slash and the next few strikes with ease. Not once did the attacks even stop her from taking a drink of sake. Carloman screamed, putting all her strength in her next cut. The knight found herself overextending as her enemy disappeared before the sword could even hit. Tsunade made the girl pay for the error. The former Hokage smacked Carloman in the head with the flat side of the bakken. The poor knight crumpled to the ground before vanishing in a ray of light. Razor's knight has retired. Your two servants, teammates, Naruto corrected. Ravel licked her all too suddenly dry lips. Your two teammates destroyed Oniisama's peerage like it was nothing. Naruto just shrugged like it had been completely obvious to begin with. His eyes narrowed as Razor's queen decided to show herself. A magic circle appeared under Tsunade, who just body flickered out of it. An explosion a few degrees larger than an explosive tag went off where she had stood. Hoo-hoo, confidence filled Ravel's laugh. Impressed? I admit I was worried, but Oniisama's queen is very strong. Is magic always that slow? Naruto frowned as he asked. It can be slow. Ravel pushed up her non-existent glasses and went into her prim and proper teacher mode. Most devil magic requires activation circles unless it is a part of family magic. Like the Phoenix family has a natural aptitude for fire and wind magic, so low to mid-level spells of those elements do not require an activation circle. Really? You're so awesome, Ravel-chan, Naruto exclaimed as he pulled the blushing girl into a hug. Can you teach me some of the Phoenix magic sometime? If I must, Ravel mumbled into Naruto's chest. Ravel pushed away from him, attempting to try not to revel in just how firm Naruto felt. Razor's queen has retired. What the hell? Ravel asked in shock. The entirety of Razor's peerage was gone except her. Ravel gulped and turned in fear towards Naruto only to see him smiling down at her. Are we going to fight now? Ah, Ravel-chan, I could never hurt my pretty little auntie. Ravel's heart was hammering in her ears. Her mind going over the fact that he thinks she is pretty. Really? Of course, I will just knock you out. You won't even feel a thing, or you could choose to retire. Before she could respond, the two of them were interrupted by a fireball. Naruto grabbed a completely unaware Ravel and flew into the sky before the fireball burned down the tree. Hey, you could have hurt Ravel-chan. The girl clung to Naruto as he carried her like a princess. Stupid Oniisama, she mumbled into Naruto's chest over and over. She had no idea if she was talking about Naruto or Razor. Ha! That fire would not hurt her, she is a phoenix. Unlike you, you low-class trash. Now let go of my sister before you sully her further. No, she is holding on to me quite tightly. She will be a part of my team soon anyway. You think half-breed scum like you has a chance against me, a high-class phoenix? I admit your servants are strong, but they are not here. They cannot save you. Maybe once I have defeated you I will take them from you. Even that flat boyish one. I will make sure to break her in before I toss her back to you. I am not a monster after all. You talk a lot when you should be more aware of your surroundings. How dare you? Behind you, Naruto cut off his uncle's rant. Like I would fall for that. Razor said before he heard the words that would haunt his dreams for years to come. Shinaro. Sakura's glowing green fist smashed into Razor's back. The devil rocketed into the ground despite his wings and magic. When the dirt settled, Razor's mangled body was at the bottom of the newly created pit. Flat am I? I will show you flat. A furious Sakura dove down into the pit. Quakes and angry shouting followed afterward. Revel-chan, you shouldn't see this. Naruto pressed the pressure point on the side of her neck, causing her to fall asleep. Razor's bishop has retired. Sakura leaped out of the hole looking very satisfied and refreshed. Naruto landed next to the rejuvenated girl. Feeling better, Sakura-chan? I know you have been stressed this week. The pinkette flashed him a brilliant smile. Yeah, I really needed that. It's just a shame he did not put up much of a fight. You did not give him much of a chance. Tsunade mused as she walked up to her two students. It wouldn't have mattered if she did, it would have ended the same, and just as quickly. You did great, Sakura-chan. I am sorry, Sakura said as she grabbed Naruto's hand. Naruto gave her a confused look. For what? I shouldn't have let him say all those awful things to you. I just thought I would wait in case you wanted to try to talk to him first. It's alright, Sakura-chan. I know his type, you have to smack him around first before he will ever listen. Sakura pulled up the remaining courage she had from the high of victory. Still, let me make it up to you. How about we go have some ramen when we get home? My treat, just try not to eat through my entire savings. I would love to, Sakura-chan, Naruto affirmed as he turned away to hide the hope he clearly felt. It's a date then. Sakura turned to a frowning Tsunade with a smug grin of victory. You think that was enough to defeat me? Razor crawled out of his hole with his injuries still lit aflame. His right arm was unnaturally bent and twisted the wrong direction. His rib cage was caved in, and the left side of his face was carrying the indentation of Sakura's fist. While I admire your pain tolerance, Tsunade stated after taking a drink of sake. Unfortunately, it could not get the bad taste of Naruto and Sakura future date out of her mouth. You should just pack it in and quit. This does not end well for you. Razor's legs were finally healed enough to stand. Are you afraid to face me on your own half-breed, or are you going to just hide behind your women? Naruto narrowed his eyes at his rapidly healing uncle. Sakura had really done a number on the man, but there was one thing he wanted to know. Why do you keep calling me a half-breed? I am a full devil now. A sadistic grin appeared on his uncle's face. No matter what you become, your whore of a mother was still just a human. And you will always just be a half-breed. Sakura stepped forward with clenched fist. Sakura, stop. Let me educate my uncle on the Uzumaki clan. Razor snorted at the thought of a human clan. He never caught the fact that Naruto's eyes were flickering back and forth between sapphire and blood red. The weight of the world slammed into Razor. He nearly bit his tongue off in surprise as he dropped to his knees. Scenes of his death filtered through his mind as Naruto spoke. The Uzumaki were known for their strong vitality, and famed for their mastery in Fuinjutsu. But they grew far too powerful. So powerful that it took an army 10 times their size to end the Uzumaki clan. It is said that they could seal away beings as powerful as gods in a matter of moments. So when you call me a half-breed, I will wear this as a badge of honor because I will always be proud of my Uzumaki heritage. The hair on the back of Razor's neck stood on end. Chains extending from Naruto's back rattled as they wound their way around Razor's torso. The flames healing his injuries snuffed out, leaving a broken arm and a heavily bruised face. Naruto dropped the killing intent that came with Biju Chakra. He stood over the kneeling, broken and bloody Razor Phoenix. These chains are Uzumaki sealing chains, and I inherited them from my human mother. Do you know why they are called sealing chains? You should be able to feel it. They suppress any and all abilities you have. The man's eyes widened and he tried to break free. Struggle all you want, these chains have contained things far stronger than you. Naruto kneeled down to look Razor in the eyes. One was half closed, there was snot leaking from his nose and blood running off his chin. My mother's name was so feared that I was not allowed to know what it was until I was 16. That way her enemies would not hunt me down. She was a kunoichi so powerful they fled at the sight of her. The other nations still whisper stories of her to their children. She was the boogeyman in the closet, the monster under your bed. Kushina Uzumaki, the Red Death, would have destroyed your peerage with contemptuous ease. You think you are strong. You have no idea what strength is. Naruto paused. His eyes bore into Razor's own, making the man feel insignificant. Make no mistake, we went easy on you and your peerage. Sakura could have made you a bloody smear with the flick of her finger. Naruto, Tsunade sounded bored, but there was an undertone of command to it. End it already so we can go home. Go to sleep, uncle. Naruto poked the man on the forehead, knocking him out. Razor Phoenix has retired. Team Uzumaki has won the match. Sakura put her hand on her hip and looked at Naruto with a raised brow. Contemptuous, Naruto? How long have you been waiting to say that? Sakura-chan, Naruto pouted and his shoulders drooped. I know big words, Databale. A magical circle appeared on the ground beneath them, teleporting Team Uzumaki to a new location. Gremory Estate. The trio of shinobi reappeared in a room foreign to them. It was a lounge room with a grand fireplace filled to the brim with sofas and armchairs. The walls were covered in a crimson tapestry depicting scenes of humanity working together with devilkind. All in all, the room was quite inviting and warm. Rias, her queen, and Katarina Phoenix sat chatting with a woman who looked to be Rias's brown-haired twin. Ravel was in an armchair good distance away from them. She was the only one to notice their arrival, but she decidedly kept her attention away from them. Her cheeks were flushed red, which Naruto thought was due to her close proximity to the fire. The last group consisted of Amadeus, Surzek and another man who was a mirror image of Surzek. They were in a serious hushed discussion. The man did not look thrilled with the result of the match and seemed to be letting Surzek and Amadeus know it. Grafia cleared her throat, drawing the attention of everyone in the room. I present the winners of today's rating match, Team Uzumaki. Hey, Naruto said with a short wave, causing Sakura to groan in annoyance. It only made the man who disliked the result of match frown harder. Even Surzek had a look of disappointment before it was replaced with a smile. The atmosphere of the room was weird and it did not escape the notice of any on Team Uzumaki. Rias rushed towards Naruto, but a cough stopped her in her tracks before she could wrap her arms around him. Instead, she bowed deeply. Naruto, thank you for saving me from a marriage with Razor. Naruto blushed in response, and scratched the back of his head. Despite everything he has been through and done, he was still not used to people's gratitude. That may be, but I do not think I can agree to this union. Father, quiet Rias. Do not interrupt your father. The brown-haired woman said with a neutral expression. I saw nothing remarkable about this boy on the battlefield. Unless you count hiding behind the coattails of his servants. No, I do not think I will allow this change to the marriage contract. Sakura scoffed and laughed at the thought of Naruto hiding behind her. The stink-eye that Lady Tsunade gave her made Sakura keep it under control. Look, I promised Sakura-chan that she could have first crack at him. It's not my fault he couldn't take it, Naruto said in his own defense. I don't think that is right. You did not think. Naruto was cut off by the brown-haired woman. The whole underworld was watching this match, and you looked weak. It will make the Gremory clan look weak if we allow this to continue. Naruto scowled at the woman. He was about to yell back at them when he felt Sakura's hand on his arm. Her gentle smile calmed him down almost immediately. Correct me if I am wrong, Tsunade spoke. I was under the belief that a king has to be stronger than their servants, otherwise the devil pieces would not work. Rias's father, who had yet to introduce himself, drawled. I fail to see your point. Well, if that is indeed correct, that means that my king, Naruto, did not fight Razor because Razor was too far beneath him. Tsunade narrowed her eyes. In fact, his whole peerage was far beneath any of us. The way I see it, you can cancel the contract or not. Regardless of your choice, Razor Phoenix is no longer a viable candidate. It is really no sweat off our backs. Now if you are done posturing. I was expecting a victory party and booze. The mood in the room had completely soured. The Phoenix family sat stoic in disapproval of their friend's attitude. Katarina rose from her seat. Come darlings, let's go. Roval is waiting for us at home. Besides, the Gremorys appear to be out of sorts tonight. It must have been something they ate, as I would like to believe such behavior is beneath them. Naruto's grandmother turned to the other buxom blonde in the room. Lady Tsunade, we will just have a celebratory drink at home. Before they could teleport, a loud bang came from the door. Then a second. On the third, the lounge door blew off its hinges. Naruto grabbed Rias and pulled her out of the way of the flying debris. An average-looking brown-haired boy entered the room. His eyes landed on Naruto, clutching Rias firmly into his and the blush on her cheeks. Bucho's virginity belongs to me, wa, was the dumbfounded response from the youngest phoenix in the room. Issei. Rias shouted in embarrassment. No, Bucho, I will save you from this animal. Issei pointed his red gauntlet at Naruto, striking his most heroic pose. I challenge you for the right to have Bucho. Pass. Rias can choose whoever she wants to be with. That's what I thought. I watched your fight you and all you did was hide behind Mega Ape and the flat board. I have trained for 10 whole days to challenge whoever the winner of today's fight. Tsunade snorted. 10 whole days, huh? Don't distract me, Mega Ape. I will get to those later. Surzek stepped forward with his father following his footsteps. I think this is a good idea. I would like to see what the new Red Dragon Emperor is capable of. It will also give Naruto a match to showcase his strength. And if Issei does win, Rias will be engaged to the new Red Dragon Emperor. It's a win for everyone, not for us. Amadeus put his hand on his wife and daughter's shoulders. Lucifer-sama, we were willing to let this insult slide before, but this is too much. Are you willing to lose our family's friendship for a glimpse at my grandson's power? The answer was in the silence that followed. So be it. Amadeus looked to Naruto. Grandson, please do this foolish old man a favor. Crush him. Naruto glanced at his teammates. Sakura and Tsunade gave him the barest of nods. Sure, Ajisen. Surzek gave a strained smile to the group. The man was obviously having doubts about his decision. Grafia, would you notify everyone that there will a bonus match today? The silent maid addressed the forgotten pawn. Hayata-san, are you prepared for your match? Yeah? I think so. The sloven answer caused Grafia's neutral expression to look strained to the point of her looking constipated. She did not deign to respond, instead she just teleported from the room. Tsunade ignored his lame response. Lucifer-sama, do not go anywhere after the match. We will be calling in my favor after the conclusion of the match, and after this you are not in any position to decline it. Of course. Surzek teleported to the VIP seating. Sorry about this, grandson. Katrina pulled Naruto into a hug. The Phoenix pride could only take so much, and Xioticus couldn't keep his mouth shut the entire match. At least once you win, it should stop others from issuing a challenge. Cat, we should go too. Give the kids a few minutes to themselves. Naruto's grandparents left to go to their seats. Man, what was their problem? Everyone was so tense. Who were they anyway? Issei asked now that the room was cleared of adults. Idiot, Akino smacked Issei on the back of the head. She rolled her eyes at him as he clutched his head in pain. Those were Rias-sama and Revel-sama's parents, and your little stunt may have ended an alliance that has lasted a millennia. Akino grabbed him by the ear and pulled over to the corner of the room for a scolding. Naruto, Rias grabbed his hands and brought them to her chest. Don't judge my parents too harshly. They really wanted my marriage to Razor to happen. They wanted to bind our clans together. Then why were they still upset with me? I am still from the Phoenix clan. And why are they okay with the overgrown lizard over there? Because you are an unknown quantity. As for the Red Dragon Emperor's vessel, the dragon will not allow him to be weak, so even if he never trained the dragon would still improve his body. Revel pulled Naruto's hands out of Rias's grasp. This fight was going to show how strong the Gremory clan would be after the marriage. Instead, your team ripped us apart easily and you hardly lifted a finger to do it, so in the end it made you and my Oni-sama look really weak, making the Gremory's future look weak. Naruto finished as he caught on to Revel-chan's logic. Sakura grunted, damn politics. We were here for a fight, not a damn show. She stared down at the connected hands. She yanked him free of the younger blonde. Naruto, it's not your fault. We did not know they would have you on display for the whole underworld. If it was just the underworld it would not be such a problem. Ria stated. Oni-sama wanted it to be seen by all the realms to show off the strong young generation. It's no wonder he wants another match to hopefully redeem the devil youth. But the jerk was so weak. Sakura pointed out what she thought was the most obvious flaw in the plan. Believe it or not, but Razor Oni is one of the strongest high-ranked devil in the rating games right now. So Auntie, what did you think of the match? Don't call me that, Revel huffed. It was too far one-sided to judge. At least that is what I would say if I watched from the sidelines. But as someone who was in the match, you guys are stupid strong. Way too strong for your age. I almost feel sorry for the Red Dragon Emperor's vessel. He doesn't know what he got himself into. Naruto. Tsunade said to grab his attention. Sensei, remember, we are not here for a show. Do whatever you need to win, but try not to show too much of your capabilities. Hi. Tsunade smirked at Sakura as she pulled Naruto into a smothering hug and kissed him on the cheek. Good luck, Gaki, even if I doubt that you will need it. And remember, we still want to keep our abilities under wraps. I don't care if this is supposed to be a show. Sakura and Ria silently fumed at the stupid grin on Naruto's face. But before either of them could rescue Naruto from the big-breasted drunk, they were interrupted by an announcement. Thank you all for remaining. I am a servant for the Gremory clan, Graphia. We with the Gremory clan are excited to present to you a bonus match. The match will be a one-on-one fight to submission or knockout between Issei Hayato, the current Red Dragon Emperor, and Naruto Uzumaki, the youngest male of the Phoenix clan. This is an epic battle of dragon versus Phoenix. The winner will gain the right to marry Rias, Gremory heir to the Gremory clan. The match begins now. Naruto appeared at the far end of an old castle courtyard. It looked a lot like the medieval castles that he found in the history books from the Phoenix Library. Across from him 100 feet away stood the unremarkable Red Dragon Emperor. The boy put his fist forward. I am a freshman in the occult club, Hayato Issei. Bucho Rias Gremory belongs to me. At that moment Naruto had PTSD flashbacks of a screaming blonde-haired boy announcing to everyone who would listen that he would become Hokage. He laughed awkwardly and scratched his cheek. Naruto Uzumaki, number 1 unpredictable ninja. Databeo. Naruto clamped his mouth shut and cursed himself for falling into the lizard boy's flow. He could almost hear Sakura snickering in his mind. He had tried so hard to break himself of the habit of using his vocal tic. Bucho, I will end this in 10 seconds. Don't you think you are underestimating me? Issei charged forward, running at the speed of an average ungifted person. Bucho, I request promotion. Granted. Rias's voice echoed over the battlefield. What the hell? Whose side are you on? Naruto screamed out in annoyance. Do you want to be owned by a perv? Promotion queen. Issei's speed doubled instantly. For Bucho, I would destroy God himself. I will be the strongest pawn. Shine forth. Overbooster. Welsh Dragon Overbooster. A bright green light surrounded Issei until it solidified into red draconic armor. This is the low-class power of Balance Breaker. Boosted gear scale mail. There was a murmur of disbelief from the broadcast booth. Naruto could feel the increase in the lizard boy's power. The armor itself was pumping out Jonin levels of power, but the boy inside was still low Genin at best. It was obvious to him that both could improve with time and effort. It was unfortunate that Issei did not strike him as the hard-working type. But compared to Lee, who is, Issei leaped into the air, his clawed hands arcing with green lightning. He brought them together to form an orb the size of an Otama Rasengan, and fired it. 10. Time to stop daydreaming. Naruto combined his magic and chakra and circulated it around his hand. He backfisted the hot pink orb into a castle wall. The red dragon appeared from the smoke. I got you now! Naruto sidestepped the haphazard punch. It's about damn time you got here, I was getting bored. Naruto spun, kicking Issei in the ribs, sending him into a tower, destroying it. 9. The red armored dragon launched himself out of the tower. Too many watching it only looked like a green streak of light. In an instant he was on Naruto. Unfortunately, Issei's punch was far overextended. It was a good chance for Naruto to test out his training in the Uzumaki fighting style. It was a style based on fighting multiple opponents at once. It focused on redirecting their energy and using it against them. And Lizard Boy was throwing his energy all over the place. Naruto guided Issei's punch off the line of attack and sent him back into the fallen tower. 8. Lizard Boy power and speed is useless if you don't have the training to know how to use it. Naruto still had not left the spot he had started from. Issei struggled to pull himself out of the rubble. He was feeling a little dizzy from being spun around. Ugh, this is harder than I thought. But I will not fail. I will bring Bucho back. 7. I assume that countdown means something. So you'd better hurry up before you're out of time, Naruto said with a good-natured smile. This spar wasn't much fun, but he had to give it to Lizard Boy for trying. You know what? Screw it. I am coming to you. Naruto's dash forward cracked the stone beneath his feet. He ignored his opponent's squeak as he shouted. I am going to use my most classic move. Naruto had enough speed that he did not even need to bother with using clones. Before Issei could even react, a fist smashed into his jaw. Then a kick smashed into his stomach. It was followed by a backflip kick that rocketed the red dragon into the sky. 2. Flames exploded into wings from Naruto's back. He rocketed after his red-armored opponent, passing in the sky. Uzumaki barrage. He flipped into a hammer kick, sending Issei back down to earth. 6. There was no movement in the crater. Naruto worried that maybe he had been too hard on the kid. 5. He landed next to the crater. Hey, Lizard Boy, you alright in there? 4. The only answer Naruto got was a shout. Dragon Lance! A pink beam of energy shot out of the smoke, causing Naruto to roll out of the way. The beam crashed through the castle wall and decimated a peak of a mountain in the background. 3. I am not done yet. Bucho is mine. Naruto sighed at the terrible punch, but there was something about it that made the hair stand on the back of his neck. Naruto caught the offending arm at the wrist. There, dangling from his hand, was a silver cross. One that would have caused a ton of pain to a high-class devil. Issei, how can you even hold that without pain? My bishop used to be a nun. I borrowed it from her, but it would still hurt a devil. Wait. You sacrificed your arm to the red dragon for power, didn't you? Naruto said in disgust. Naruto could feel it. The energy coming from the appendage did not feel like the boy's at all. It was the same as the armor, the same as the dragon in Issei's boosted gear. Naruto knew the true costs for gaining instant power. 2. That's right. If I have a dragon arm, a devil's weakness won't apply to me. Are you crazy? You can never go back and you will always want more power. What's next, Issei? A leg? Your brain? Your heart? Your soul? Don't go down this path. It will only lead to pain. I know that. But I will do whatever it takes to get Bucho back. To make her mine. Naruto tossed the boy back into rubble. 1. It's over, Issei. Rias Gremry is a person, not an object. She does not belong to you or me. I will not stop. I will do whatever it takes. The red dragon proclaimed with one last surge of energy. Dream Finger, count over. The energy that Issei had been building sputtered out, causing the boy to land on his face. Naruto knelt down to Red Dragon. Look, Issei, you put up a good fight despite your lack of training, but I think it is time to call it quits. No, I will never give up. The red dragon pulled a vial from his school jacket and removed the top with his teeth. He swung the vial with abandon, splashing the liquid on Naruto's face and arms. Ouch! Was the last thing Naruto said before leaving nothing but smoke behind. Issei rolled over to sit on his butt. I did it, he said with a goofy grin on his face. I won. Bucho is mine again. Issei's musings were interrupted by a slow clap. Congratulations, you defeated my shadow clone. Naruto emerged from a shadowy corner. He reveled in the fact he could finally give a villain clone speech. You surprised me by defeating my clone, but they only contain 1/10 of my strength. Now you should understand just how impossible this fight was for you. Issei tried to stand, but his legs gave out. He simply just did not have any more energy. No, I can't give up. Because Rias belongs to you? Naruto shook his head in frustration. You know, I read about dragons a few weeks ago. They sounded so cool, so I had to know more, even though I am a bit partial to foxes. There is one thing that all dragons have in common. They all have to have a hoard, whether it's gold, jewels, or soft plushies. I mean, it could be anything. One even liked to collect donuts, not even to eat. It would gather them up by the thousands, let them go bad, then go out into the human world and get more. At this point, Naruto noticed the strange look that the lizard boy was giving him. Anyways, what I am trying to say is that you seem to be doing the same thing. I heard you want to be harem king. That's right. Issei shouted with pride. That's the thing, women are not treasures to be hoarded away. They are people. You can own them, but I will treat them right. Naruto shook his head before he looked at his forearm as if he was wearing a watch. Well, time to go. But let me do you one last favor before I end the match. What favor? Issei said before a bright golden flame lit over Naruto's palm. A solid black bar grew from the fire. It was the deepest black that Issei had ever seen. It was what he imagined deep space looked like from a spaceship. There are always consequences to instant power, and I am not going to let you hurt the ones I care about. Naruto swung the truth-seeking rod into the red gauntlet, shattering it. The pain for Issei was unimaginable, and it was twofold for the red dragon locked away in the boosted gear. He blacked out to the howling screams of the dragon. Naruto dismissed the truth-seeking bar, and ran his hand through his hair. He really wished the fight had not gone that far. The gleaming silver chain caught his eye. I wonder if he even told his friend he would use it for a weapon. Without thinking, Naruto snatched it up from the ground. It sizzled in his hand, making it itch. It's over. Can you make the announcement? Winner of the match is Naruto Uzumaki of the Phoenix clan. This time Naruto appeared in the VIP box seating area. Issei had appeared next to him but was already being looked over by medical professionals. Rias and her peerage had rushed over to him as well. Except for Kaneko-chan, who was still in her seat munching on some dorayaki. Issei-san, are you alright? I will heal you. The short blonde's hand lit up with green light. Naruto, what did you do to him? Will my cute Kohai be alright? Rias asked as she looked over Issei with concern. Yeah, he just needs some rest since I drove the dragon energy from his arm. Naruto looked around the room. Tsunade was in a heated conversation with Surzek, Rias's parents, the Phoenix, and a few others. Sakura waved him over to her. She was standing in the corner with Ravel and a brunette with lovely violet eyes. Hey Sakura-chan, no congrats for my win? Naruto asked as he reached them. She snorted in response. Like there was ever any doubt. Anyway, good job on holding back. I doubt they learned much from you have clones. Congrats, Naruto-san, heir? What do I call you? I don't like it when you call me auntie, and I don't want to call you nephew. Ravel stood there awkwardly. It was weird having a nephew 2 or 3 years older than her. Especially one that is so handsome. Grrrk. She meant to think he was so feral, looking like he could just ravish her at any moment, and there was nothing she could do about. No, that's not what meant. She meant that he was so strong that he could just take her dash. Sakura caught on to Ravel, becoming more and more flustered. You could just call him Oni-chan. Ravel reddened as if she was overheating. Naruto knew she had a strong control over the fire element, but the smoke coming from her ears was impressive. A fox-like grin spread across his face as he leaned forward closer to Ravel. You could call me Oni-chan if you want, and I can call Amato-chan. Oh, Oni-chan. No, I will call you Oni-san. Sure thing, Amato-chan. Naruto said as he messed up her hair. Don't call me that. A cleared throat brought everyone back to reality. The violet-eyed girl was blushing at the conversation she had interrupted. This was no place for flirting. She bowed to Naruto. Congratulations, Uzumaki-san. I am Sona Citri of the Citri clan. Naruto waved his hand as if to dispel the stiffness of the introduction. Ma. I don't care much for formality, Sona-chan. You can call me Naruto. Sona's eye twitched in response. Okay, Naruto-san. That was an interesting match, albeit a short one. Haruno-san and I were discussing how you accomplished some of your feats in the match. Naruto sighed at the formalness. Like what, Sona-chan? Well, for one, how did you move so fast? What do you mean? I just ran or jumped. Why? A look of frustration came across her face as Sakura tried to hide her giggle. She had tried to explain this to the young Sidri during the match. No, Naruto-san, I mean, did you cast any spells or use any magic to enhance yourself? Naruto thumped his chest. Nope, that was 100% hard work and training. Fine, if you don't want to tell me, at least tell me when you made that clone of yours. That? I made my clone when Lizard Boy was screaming over boost at the top of his lungs, so at the beginning. How did no one see you? Distraction is the name of the game, Sona-chan. To prove his point, he put on a familiar pair of purple-rimmed oval glasses. Hey, how did you get my glasses? Sona's formal exterior cracked as she leaped forward to pull her glasses off his face. Naruto pulled back, causing her to fall right into his chest. Naruto swung her around to move out of the way of her incoming water attack. Unfortunately, it hit a grinning Ravel in the face. Naruto, leave the poor girl alone and give her back her glasses. But Sakura-chan, Naruto cried out as he dangled the glasses high in the air, making Sona jump for them. She just started to relax. I don't understand how she can be so formal. We are all just teenagers, and they are. Are you? Too. Do as I say. Fine, Sakura-chan. Sona swiped the glasses from Naruto as he lowered them. I am glad you are all getting along. Katarina Phoenix spoke up as she approached them with Tsunade and Amadeus Phoenix. Sona quickly pulled herself back together. Sorry for being so unsightly, Phoenix-sama. Era. Sona-chan, I quite agree with my grandson, even if I do not care for how he got you to relax. The smile and her wink at Naruto told them all she did not believe what she was saying. Naruto, Tsunade worked out your formal marriage contract with the Gremries. They pushed for the marriage to happen when Rias graduated from high school. But Tsunade was insistent that we follow the original contract, so you will be required to marry once she graduates college. Also, the contract will be considered null and void if you both want to cancel the marriage. That's not so bad. Sakura wished they would have just cancelled it altogether, but at least there was a way out for Naruto. How long until she graduates? This time it was Sona that answered. At Rias's pace she will be done in 4 years. If she tries harder, possibly 3. 3 years at most, Sakura mumbled. That gives me time, but he is still a bit of a dunce. Sakura-chan, you say something. Nope. I mean, Lady Phoenix, why is a good thing we are all getting along? There was a sly smile on the elder Phoenix's faces that made Naruto uncomfortable. Because you will all be going to high school together. What? But I already finished school. Suck it up, Gaki. They are making me go too. Tsunade grumbled before she chugged from her never-ending sake bottle. She wiped her mouth with the back of her hand. At least I made them agree to let us send shadow clones in our place. Lady Phoenix tooted. Not every time, but when you have other places to be, it's fine. As you know, Surzek is familiar with your circumstances. Naruto's shoulders dropped. Do I really have to? I was always dead last in school. I really don't want to go through that again. Naruto, Sakura glanced at Sona, deciding what she should say. There were reasons for that, and most of them were out of your control. This might be a good chance to show everyone, including yourself, how much you have changed. Besides, I mean, we will be there to help you with anything. And Gaki, you're a sage now, so you can sit for longer than 5 minutes straight. Alright. As long as I have you too. Oniai-san, I will be there to help too. Era Naruto, I didn't know my little Revel has taken such a shine to you. Sona decided to ignore a gushing Katarina Phoenix. Naruto-san, as council president, it is also my responsibility to offer you any help you may need. Oh my. It is really the springtime of youth. Maybe I should go back to school too. What do you say, Naruto? Would you let me be one of your girls? Katarina, Amadeus Phoenix said with a sly smile. Where do I fit in this lovely picture you are painting? Amadeus, I didn't see you there. Is that right? I have been here since poor Sakura poured her heart out to Naruto. I did not. You know how it is, honey. Young love gets me all flustered. Naruto, I thought you would be with Rias right now. No, last I saw her she was tending to the red lizard boy. The group turned to Rias as she was still checking on her pawn. The group frowned at the girl who never looked their way. And the favor? I believe your queen handled it. Though I doubt Lucifer-sama is happy about it. Speak of the devil. Surzek strolled up to the group with a confident and easygoing smile. What are we looking at? Sona adjusted her glasses and filed away the mention of a favor. Rias worrying over her pawn. He is a part of her peerage, and it did look like Naruto hurt him pretty bad. I saved him. He sacrificed his arm for power. Instant power like that is dangerous. He gestured to himself and his teammates. It's something we know far too well. Sona raised her eyes at the admission and filed it away. Whatever you did still looked painful. Yeah, it did. So Surzek, I assume the Gremories are fine with me now. Ah, yes. They want me to extend an invitation to dinner so they can get to know you and your peerage better. And I hope to repair the relationship between our families. That's it. I didn't really do much more in this fight compared to the last. Naruto, that speed you displayed was far faster than anyone else in your age group. Sona adjusted her glasses again. She would never admit that she kept touching them to make sure Naruto hadn't stolen them again. Also, it was obvious in this round that you can handle yourself in a fight. Did he say even lay a hand on you outside of that trick? Surzek answered for Naruto. No, he did not, and you won the psychological war. You should have seen those girls. They looked so broken at the thought of just being another shiny piece for his dragon horde. I mean, the kids got spirit for trying to get back up, but yikes, that was rough to watch. I don't think Akino or Kaneko has spoken to anyone since, and Rias's little bishop looked like her world had shattered. My little sister seems to have bounced back from it though. If I did not know you, I would have thought you were trying to break up Rias's peerage. Instead, I know you were giving him and my sister's peerage sound advice. Speaking of Rias's peerage. Naruto held up the silver cross in his hand. Anyone know who this belongs to? You still have that? Revel practically shouted. What? What's wrong? Grandson, religious relics and such are harmful to devils. Naruto, do you feel any pain? Surzek asked. It itches a little bit. I see. Surzek rubbed his chin in thought. The stronger the devil, the less things like that hurt. Sona pulled herself out of her own thoughts. I believe that it is Asia-san's necklace. Sona called the small blonde over and pointed her towards Naruto. Is there something I can help you with, Naruto-san? Naruto raised the cross up again. I was told this was yours. She clapped cutely in excitement. I thought it was lost when Issei-kun didn't come back with it. She pulled an embroidered silk cloth from her jacket pocket. She unfolded it and let Naruto place the cross inside and delicately folded back up. Thank you so much for bringing it back to me, girlie, Tsunade called out. You shouldn't let others use things you so obviously treasure as a weapon. Asia clutched the silk package to her chest. But Issei-kun said he needed it. Tsunade pointed to Naruto. You see that green stone on the cord around Naruto's neck? I gave that to him to show him how much I treasure him. That stone was a keepsake from my grandfather. To me it is priceless. If he used it to attack someone outside of life and death situation, I would never forgive him. But Naruto would never do that. He knows how important it is to me, so it is important to him. It was life or death. Issei said if he lost you would take Bucho away. Where did he get that idea? Sakura asked in confusion. Rias isn't going anywhere. In fact, Naruto and his peerage will be joining you at school. Surzek clarified. My parents and I wanted Naruto to get to know Rias and her peerage better. But Ise-kun told me that Rias said she would have to leave if Naruto-san or Razor-san won. Naruto and the others turned back to watch Rias tending to her pawn. The boy in question had a stupid grin on his face. He is definitely awake, Katarina commented as the redhead leaned over. Rias's breasts were firmly pressed into Issei's face. Definitely, Sakura said next with dead eyes. He's so gross. How can she stand it? Issei-kun is not so bad. Asia tried to defend him. Yes, he is. At school he is known as one of the perverted trio. As council president, he causes no end to my paperwork and school complaints. Tsunade took a drink of sake. The things we read said that devils are manipulative, and Rias is definitely a devil. This was probably the hardest that brat has ever fought. Sakura clenched her fist. Naruto, when she comes over for training, leave it to me. Naruto nodded in response. I feel so used. Surzek rubbed his temples to clear his quickly growing headache. Me too. What if Naruto Truth-Seeking orbs in high school DxD? And thanks for watching my video till the end. If you enjoy this content, then do consider subscribing to my channel, and leave a like if you guys need the next part. Comment down, and thanks for watching the video, and see you guys in the next video.